All right.
Yo, peace, y'all. Peace, love, and positive vibes to all y'all out there on this Not For Me Monday.
Right.
Yo, we got a friend in the house tonight. You guys were presented by Survival Mode Music and Media. Bow. Every Monday is presented by Survival Mode Music and Media. Even if I forget to say it, it's still true.
Salute. Real talk. 3B
Yeah,
salute.
facts. Absolutely. So, yeah, we got a guest on the show tonight. Anyone that used to watch the Juice, listen to the Juice, I guess, back in the day, um, probably heard this voice multiple times. Didn't get to see the face, but yo, today this is a new day. It's a new day, so today you get to see his face. So I'll let you introduce yourself, though.
Peace. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Emilio Wackball, host of the Nonstop Radio Show. And I'm just thankful to these two wonderful people for having me here as a part of this here today, man. Like I'm definitely honored to be a part of this. And if y'all want to follow me on the Emilio Agbar's Twitter channel and all that good stuff. And definitely reach out to me. I definitely talk back. So definitely want to say thank you to Melody and definitely thank you to you, Sick With It, man, for inviting me onto your platform here tonight.
Absolutely, brother. You
Thanks for
already know.
being here.
Melody said it, politically and corporately, friend and guest, but that's family in our opinion for real. So
Yeah,
Facts.
you know,
This is a family affair tonight, you know.
It's a
welcome
reunion.
to the
It's a
new
family
hangout.
reunion.
You know what I mean?
That's
The
all
new
it is.
establishment.
I love it.
We expanding. That's all. That's
That's
all.
all it is.
I
It's
love
good to
it.
have you over. It's good to have you over, bro. Real talk.
Yo, I'm truly appreciated, man. Like it's been a minute since I've been behind a microphone in any capacity as far as my show, my podcast, or anything like that. So when Melody gave me the invitation to come through, I had to accept that, man. So I'm definitely just, I'm thankful and grateful for y'all for having me here, and thank you. I definitely appreciate y'all for allowing me the opportunity to be a part of what y'all building here and everything. It's definitely dope. I mean,
Oh, salute. You already know.
Peace. Thank you.
Real quick though, like for the people, I know Mel mentioned that you was on her show before. Let the people know kind of like who you are and what your show was about and what you did. And for those who don't know, you know what I'm saying. Real quick, just give them a little synopsis.
oh, no doubt, no doubt. Well, first of all, for everybody out there that's watching right now, I am the founder and I guess you could call it CEO. I don't really like using that term right now until it's official, but you know what I'm saying, it's going to happen. So there's, official CEO, that's in the makings. But I am the founder of EJP Entertainment, and we have various platforms. The first platform that most people know me as or from, and how I met Melody and are sick with it was through my radio show called the Nonstop Radio Show, which is a online platform that showcases unsigned talent from around the world, not just here in the United States, but we had people from South Africa, from Europe. We've had people from all over, be on the show, especially Melody and Sick as well. So they know me from that, and that's how a lot of people out there know me. I started making my bones doing that in 2016, and we just been, trying to do what we can to progress and just keep building the platform. We've had some setbacks throughout the times, but as they say, a setback is a stepping stone for a major comeback. So, we definitely working on some things here. So 2022 is definitely going to be a big year for EJP Entertainment. I'm excited about it, yo. Definitely. We're going to
That's what's
definitely
up.
be doing some collaborations with you guys and everything. And
I'm
it's
here
lit.
for it.
It's definitely going to happen.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Absolutely looking forward to that. And real quick, can you just give the people a sense of how you really got into doing, the podcast, if you will, or the talk show and the different things that you've been involved in?
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. I would definitely say, I got inspired by a friend of mine by the name of Divine Thought. He has a show called For All Matters Podcast, and he had me featured on there with him a couple of times. And then eventually, like we talk and we build a lot off screen. So he was just telling me, he's like, yo, man, like what the points and views that you bring up here on the podcast and everything like that, and the fact that you have your own radio show, it's time for you to finally branch out there and do something different other than just being an on-air personality. And I was like, you know what, you're right. And when he said that, he's like, yo, because you have a voice and then you have a platform. And then what's going on right now, we need more people to start speaking out on that and everything like that. And I'm like, you know what, you're right, because we are in a situation that a lot of people don't realize, man, like these next couple of months is going to determine our future for a very long time. And it's not just our generation, but generations to come with everything that's going on and everything like that. Right. So, you know, with that being said, you know, he inspired me to get into the space of, you know, doing podcasting. And it's also something that I wanted to do before, even though Melody will tell you at the onset of everything, I was kind of against the whole podcast term. Because
me too. You know, I already know how we feel about it. That sounds like amateur as hell. I just said that today.
Like,
I don't like that podcast shit. Amateur as fuck.
Okay,
hey, yo, Mike, what's good, B? I see you out there, yo. I was just about to ask you about you and all that good stuff. But, you know, going back to it, like the whole thing with podcasting, like I had a real big disdain for it. And then after a while, I just started.
I still refuse to call this a podcast.
I'm
motherfucking confused.
I really tell people
it's a show.
I just tell people it's a talk show. To be honest, that's how I see it.
I feel you. But when I started looking, no, you good. I didn't want to cut y'all guys off, but I had a real disdain for calling it a podcast. But then as I started researching what podcasts are and exactly how they benefit people, I actually see that, you know, podcasting is in the top 10 as far as, you know, entrepreneurship and building a stream of income. So I was like, you know what, I'm okay with using the word podcast and everything like that right now. So, you know, I just wanted to build that platform, the Emilio's Memoirs podcast, not because I wanted to, you know, make money, but because I want my voice to, you know, impact people in the sense that it helps them change. Like how I've had so many, you know, various influences in my life here recently that helped me get on this path to changing and everything. Like particularly my partner Tansy on my podcast and everything like that. She's always in my ear about, you know, self-improvement and everything like that. So, you know, like a lot of people started putting me on this path and started opening my eyes to various things. So I wanted to use my platform and my voice through a podcast to help inspire other people to change as well.
Right.
Man, that's both, like, that's just awesome in of itself, but it's also admirable, if I could say that. And, you know, like I told you earlier before we got live, you know, I got the utmost respect for you as a human being. Like, just, man, you're a real dude, man. And it's like, coming from the type of backgrounds we come from, I know a lot of those examples didn't exist growing up for me. They existed in the world, but in terms of immediate access, they didn't exist for me. So when I look at a person such as yourself doing that and knowing that that's the type of time you're on, plus your personal commitment to self-improvement, even before you talk about extending to a podcast, I already seen it about you. I was like, man, this brother is about progression, about growth, you know, and that's what helps us to find answers when we in tough solutions. And, you know, me and Mel was talking before. She said she wanted me to say something about the survival mode thing. I will at some point, but just in a nutshell, I mean, that's the ideal of it. Survival mode. You know, we got to get through. You know what I mean? You got to get through, and there's always going to be something to get through. So regardless of how intense or how light the situation is, you got to maintain a mindset of progression. And that, for me, is what I've been looking for ever since my deployment experience, to try and put myself right in life. I appreciate coming across paths such as yourself, and then giving me the opportunity to, you know, put my music on your platform. That was major for me, because Keep It All the Way Live, coming from Philly, you know, a lot of artists want to get into the New York market. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'll be quite frank, I knew I was looking to do it, but I wasn't looking to be like an active, like mainstream entertainer. I wasn't going to go extra hard on the whole indie route either. Like, that's the only thing I got going on. I got a whole life happening. So, you know, when I look at people like yourself who find ways to make a lot of things happen simultaneously and almost make it look effortless or flawless, like, I pick up on that. And I'm like, I got to get in tune with this individual some kind of way, somehow. So definitely salute you, bro. I appreciate everything you've already done. We'll always continue to be grateful for that. And thanks for sharing that story and stuff too, bro. I really do.
Man, thank you so much, man. Yo, that really made me feel good, especially with everything that I've been going on, you know, that's been going on in my life personally, man. Just to hear that from somebody, like, it makes me feel so good because it kind of reassures you, because anybody that's on the path to entrepreneurship, that's following that path, they know it's a very dark, lonely, and twisted
Mhm.
path. So
Hmm.
like, when you hear that something that you've done has helped make a difference in somebody's life, and to some degree, no matter how
Hmm.
big or small it is, it just makes you know
Yeah.
that what you're doing is right, no matter how many hardships you may endure, or how many things that you come across, or situations that you may encounter that makes you feel like you want to quit. It just, when you get that kind of reassurance, it just makes you know, like, damn, like I'm really doing something good, so I can't give up right now. You know what I
Right.
mean? I gotta keep
Absolutely.
pressing through whatever situation I'm dealing with. If it's helping somebody, that's the reward. Because at the end of the day,
Hmm.
that's what it's all about.
Mhm.
You're supposed to be out here helping and giving back to people. And that's what I wanted to
Absolutely.
Right.
do. Like with the radio show. Like my thing with the radio show was me coming from a field of artistry, looking at the landscape of how they was doing things online with, not online, but on mainstream radio with just playing the popular people wasn't getting a chance. So I'm like, yo, fuck that. Like, I'm not going, just, I'm sorry, can I curse?
Yeah, we live, man. This the
Okay, cool,
internet.
cool,
Ain't no
cool.
FCC regulations out this motherfucker.
Yeah, could you
Yeah, man.
imagine me doing a show that I couldn't curse on? Have you
I
met me
mean,
before?
I apologize for those
Emilio, you know
eardrums
me for
being
how
handled
many
with
years
profanities
now?
and vulgarities, but I came out the
Shit.
Marine Corps. This stuff is
Nah.
regular conversation out there. It's fuck shit, fuck dumb shit, fuck all day long.
Shit.
That's a fact. But like I was
What the
saying though,
fuck?
I just wanted to make sure that we was good, because I let them fly.
No,
You
I
know what I'm
appreciate
saying?
that.
So you
Right.
know what I mean. But like I was saying, like with that situation happening, it was just I said fuck that. Like I gotta try to do something to help other people, because it's too much dope music and
Right.
too many dope artists out here that's not
Yep.
getting their fair shake in the industry. So like, let's create a platform and let's go from there. And that's what I've been doing ever since.
Mm-hmm.
If I could add on to that, I definitely seen that experience as an opportunity for me to look more at the artistry from an entrepreneurial perspective, which was what I
Mhm.
wasn't really doing. And so when I looked at that, I was like, oh, okay. It's you only know what you know from your experiences. People could tell you one thing, you can imagine other things, concoct whatever imaginations in your mind about something until you experience it. So I just started seeing like there's so many different layers and levels to the music industry, to the game of hip hop versus what it was even when we were growing up. And that was just, I don't know, it was really really a very informative experience for me that really made me make a decision that I'm grateful I made, which was
Mhm.
like you talked about entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
Um, Gus always talking. Salute, Gus. My bad, I ain't even give you a shout out from the rip. You already seen the signal though. You already know. First
You
thing,
already.
get some. But Gus was already really like, yo, we just gotta do our thing. And I was like, yeah, but you seen I sent you that Dead Presidents joint. I was on that D my joint was called DMP. I don't need a president. Like I was on that mixtape type vibe. You know what I'm saying? I take out throwback artists. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I didn't really see the broad scope of all the changes that already had occurred. I didn't see the broad scope of the uphill battle of trying to continue to carry the flag for that
Mhm.
for that genre or subgenre within hip hop. Because they took what we knew as hip hop and they reclassified it and called it the golden era and pure hip hop. And like in our minds, it's like why you calling it pure? Ain't hip
Mhm.
hop itself pure? Like why I got this label on it
Right.
now? Now it's like the difference between
That's
GMO and
kind
a
of like the whole
non-GMO.
basis of the culture of hip hop
Yeah.
is real, and
Yeah,
so wouldn't
so
that be
that's why I
pure?
was just like kind of like, huh? I was just ignoring so
You know.
much of it, partly because of where I had come from in terms of deployment, etc., and
Mhm.
personal experience. That it was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep going my way. And so you
Mhm.
gave me an opportunity to do that, and I learned from it, and so I realized I got to keep learning. It's not about arriving so much; it's about owning, which goes
Right.
back to entrepreneurship. So you could take that right, jump in there right there, like Puff, take that.
That's a fact, man, right there. That's definitely a fact. I mean, and to touch back on something that you were just saying about the mind and everything, like this is another like personal journey like I've been
Hmm.
on, like was changing the way I think, because I'm been known in my personal life, and a lot of people that know me is like sometimes I do tend to dwell on the negative aspect of a situation as to just looking for the silver line. So,
Hmm.
with when you mentioning that, it triggered a thought in my mind with this book that I'm reading, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, which is another book, my partner Tansy, she, encouraged me to read and start going into. And I'm learning, like, like a lot of things start within the subconscious mind. And
Hmm.
once you start to learn how to harness and to manifest these things and go after it and just have that burning desire in order to, make these things that you envision yourself accomplishing within through your life, if you envision these things and if you really desire to have these things and you really go out there and you make the will to make that happen, then these things will come through you. I'm learning that the mind really is a very powerful thing. Like I shit you not. Like when you hear that, when he was saying like visualize it, deliver, that is some real shit. And I'm learning. Like I had an example today. Like I was walking to my car to go sit in my car because sometimes I like to just chill and just, like just sit outside sometimes and, just think. And as I was walking to my car, like in my subconscious mind, I see my next door neighbor coming outside while I was sitting in the car the exact same way. He came out or whatever. I pictured it and I envisioned the whole thing. And sure enough, like as soon as I got in my car 10 minutes later, he came out the exact same way I envisioned it. So I'm learning, like, yo, the mind is a
Hmm.
powerful thing. It really is. And you can will
Very
a good
powerful.
situation or a bad situation towards you based on your mindset. So
Absolutely.
that's one of the things I'm trying to learn, you know?
Yeah.
Because every thought has a frequency. So when you send that frequency out into the universe responds.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a fact. That's definitely a fact right there.
Yeah. I think that was also impacting my about the time we met and the time that you had me on the show. I was starting to look at the music that I was creating from that angle as well. I believe. That's not to say that I immediately made changes. I think those changes are ongoing and probably more obvious now than they were probably even a year or two ago. But um, that's the reality is that a lot of things we experience, we never really get that exposure. So, like you said, your partner brought it to your attention,
Mm-hmm.
and so you're grateful for that. For your partner bringing it to your attention in the same way. I'm grateful that you opened that door for me back then. But even now, revisiting this conversation is actually something I wanted to kind of talk about tonight. I didn't even know how to bring it up. To be honest, real talk. So I believe you wholeheartedly about sitting there, visualizing things, and you're not the first person to say that. There are lots of people who have testified to those experiences. I know I've had my
Right.
own personal ones, but the reality of it is just like the mindset. It so much of our life experience is really rooted in our thoughts and our mind,
Yeah.
and
Everything.
that subconscious piece is like when I found out your subconscious don't turn off. That's where you dream from.
Yeah.
That's where all
Your
this stuff that
subconscious absorbs
Yeah.
everything.
everything. Things that you don't even see or
Right.
hear.
That's a
Hmm.
fact. I was watching a video yesterday and it was showing me because it was breaking down the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And it
Oh
was breaking
yeah.
it down and it was showing you the difference between the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. It was like the conscious mind, even though it's only a small part of the brain, it is still the more dominant. It's like, like where you have a computer where it has the you can
Rhyming
relate with
around.
this. Yeah, right. You can relate with this when it comes to the say like if you working on music or whatever, how you have like the MIDI connections and you have
Hmm.
the master and the slave clocks and everything like that. That's how the brain works is what I'm learning as I'm doing this research and everything like that. And they're saying like the subconscious mind is nurtured by the conscious mind. So the conscious mind is still the more powerful aspect of the two halves of the brain. So
Hmm.
you manifest things in the subconscious mind, but your conscious mind is what nurtures that.
Right,
And
because you continue to like it's the same self talk all the time in
Mhm.
your conscious mind. If you change your self talk in your conscious mind, you'll change your subconscious mind.
Exactly,
I
and it has
I
also a lot to do with your environment too.
Right. I compare the conscious part more being the focus part of your mind.
Hmm.
Like that's where you're actually taking information and ascribing values or meanings to them, and then you didn't intentionally a lot of times, or sometimes not intentionally, but you actually repeating those same images. You keep looking at them, you keep seeking them,
Hmm.
which is a key part. We don't realize like. how once we start seeing certain things, how we start hearing certain things, it
Mhm.
gets us into that. It kind of teases or creates an appetite for us. And
Hmm.
so when I started looking at what my music was sounding like and what the messages I was sending, I mean, I felt as though they were like quality messages at times, but then I looked at it and was like, but it's still, I guess you say, the frequency that it was vibrating on. It was like it was coming out of so much pain at times. It was coming out of so much frustration at times.
Mhm.
Wasn't no answer in it, no solutions, no hope. And it's like, I guess at times you need to be able to be that vulnerable with people to show them what you really been through.
That's
But
true.
in terms of the bulk of the content, it got to be a little bit more optimistic, not for the sake of just being hopeful like a Disney movie or something, but
Mhm.
like really understanding that there is a reason to be hopeful because we have control, we have
Mhm.
power, and we have
Disney movies are
resources.
laden with with terrible messages. By the way,
Yeah,
Facts,
that's a
which is
fact.
partly why,
That's
subliminal messaging like a mug, man.
yeah, which is partly
a
why I
fact.
kind of pointed to them. But they also give you this false sense of hope, and they have you hoping the wrong things. Like
That's true.
even your self worth and value is just so superficial and so unsubstantial in terms of like just as human beings. Like I mean, we devalue ourselves because
Mm.
we've been trained to and conditioned to.
That's a fact. That's a
You
fact.
know,
A lot of the
and
stuff that we're dealing with nowadays is based off the indoctrination that we was given in the earlier parts of our lives.
hmm
See, a
Thanks.
lot of this stuff, that's why I was saying, like, earlier, a lot of it also has to do with your environment. Like me, like, yes, when I first started out writing and my artistry, I was into that whole, talking about gang banging and shooting and drug dealing and having all kinds of different holes and stuff like that. But that music wasn't really growing anything. Yeah, it sounded hot. I'll put a
Hmm.
punchline together and everything like that and get the screw faces,
agree.
but it's like it wasn't really reaching nobody. And I
Right.
felt, and I started realizing when I really started, sharing personal experiences within my music
Hmm.
and starting to get away from all that foolishness that was more destructive than it was productive.
hmm
When I started doing that, I started seeing that people started resonating more with the
Right.
music I was putting out there and everything like that. So it's like I'm ready to acknowledge the fact that yes, that music does have an impact and an influence on the way we live our lives because of the psychological aspect of it.
Oh yeah, I totally
Yeah.
agree with that. I
Mhm.
just want to dovetail on that again too. Like what you said, like you start realizing in your music. And by the way, your music, I heard a little bit of it, but I I honestly, bro, keep it all the way truly with you. Like I said, dang, why this brother stop? And when I seen it, and
I
I
used
looked
to
at what
play Emilio's music on the Juice.
no, see, that's not part of
Yeah.
the point of
Yeah,
reference. I had the juice as well as you had contact with Duck City.
yeah.
Um,
Shout out to Duck
so
City, man.
I salute to the you already know they
Duck
family. You know what I'm
Yeah, my
saying?
City. That's my
brothers right there,
guys,
man.
man.
Yeah,
I
much
love
love
So
Duck
to them.
City.
when I
Yo,
peeped,
Duck
I was like,
City.
man, I'm like, he could have kept it pushing like I'm keeping it pushing, but he on a different platform, like a whole different like movement with it. And I mean, I had
Mhm.
thought, like you said, I had thought about things. I had the same like podcast interested, but it sound kind of questionable. How can
Mhm.
you really move this in the hood? That's another thing. Like so much of the music and our mindset is so entrenched in the hood
Mhm.
when that's part of the trap itself. It's
That's a
like it's
fact.
only was so much money flowing through the hood. It's only with so much economic opportunity that's available through the hood. And like you said, in the music that we were creating and absorbing, it was like it's just conditioning you to keep doing the same.
Yeah,
Of course, you got examples of people who broke the molds or whatever, but by and
yeah,
large, that's why you have what you have worldwide even now. It was our
yeah.
era growing up that brought hip hop to where it is now.
Right.
And you still got a lot of people still making a lot of the same type of music now that we grew up listening to then. So that mold was created, so it's not like an easy mold to break, but at the same
That is a
token, it's
fact.
like we came to realize because we lived this life and we also know a lot of them dudes who got the success and celebrity really wasn't the dudes they got kind of painted out to be. So it was like, yeah,
Mhm.
of course you're gonna want to make sure your music sound comparable because you want to get a shot, you want to get a listening ear. But at
Right.
the same token, Nah, like I said, the artists, the artists listen and they see, and I, like I said again, I respect and appreciate you giving me that opportunity because it helped open my eyes. So even then,
Oh,
when we do what's not glamorous, sometimes it creates a glamorous outcome. You know what I'm saying? And
that is a
I
fact.
definitely, I know that where we sitting today is a result of that. Now everybody else can't connect them dots, but I see it.
Or like,
Are you
and
feeling glamorous right now,
Of course,
or?
don't you see me in my lovely 3B attire? Look, I took the monkey suit off and put on the official gear. What they want over here? Not a thing. You feel me? You already know, like, but the beauty of it is the community that makes me feel glamorous. Like
yeah,
I tell a lot of people when they ask me
I
about
feel
the music to
pretty,
this
oh
day,
so pretty.
so
I
so
feel
pretty,
pretty and
always
and-
pretty
and
like Diddy. You know what I mean?
yeah,
No pause necessary.
and that was the one of the beautiful things about this whole situation was like with this whole community that we have built. I'm
Mm.
not going to say me, but that we as a collective, from the Juice, from Gus, from the Nonstop Radio Show, and so forth, and then a lot of people that we dealt with Duck Cities, the
Hmm.
heroes of the world, and everything like that. The community that we all built.
Hero.
And the thing I love so much about the community that we all participated in building is the fact that that was in 2016. Here it
Right.
is 2021 and we're still all here. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So
Well,
we
the juice
laid the
started
ground.
in 2015, but yeah, that's
Right. No, I'm saying like I'm going back from when I actually met you. Yeah, but the fact that we're still here and everything like that is just like it goes to show that we laid some kind of solid foundation
Right.
that is tried and true, that keeps bringing us all back to continuing to connect with one another. And that's the good thing about this whole thing that we're doing right now in this digital world.
Agreed.
Yo.
I would attribute a big part of it to the purity of hip hop. Hey, real quick, Gus. Hey, I wanted to ask you a question too. Dag, what was it, Joy? You said sometimes you gotta hear colors and see music. If you could break that down a little bit for us. That's why I say GUS to EUS, grammar under surveillance to everything under surveillance. He be coming with the heavy shit. Um,
Yes.
like, because in my mind, I'd be like, yo, sometimes I haven't been able to see the biggest picture because how they say the forest for the tree or whatever. I
That's
forget how the
true.
old timers say it, but
Oh,
really just so
what?
focused on the one thing or the small picture that I really didn't see how all the bigger pieces fit together or the little pieces fit together to make a bigger
Mm.
picture.
Mhm.
Um, but that's why, like I said, I take experiences like our show, me being on your show as one of those situations. Definitely me being on your show a few times, Mel. And just like I said, even just seeing the commitment y'all had to the craft and to hip hop, like that's just really really I think is the connecting piece. Is real hip hop. Like not saying that somebody else hip hop not. I'm just saying that what y'all was like, yo, this person what they're doing, I connect with it. What Sick with is doing, I connect with it because I see hip hop in that. You know what I'm saying? I see him being authentic to the experience. I see a talent somewhere, whether it's lyricism or whatever creative performance and I was doing. I don't know. Sometimes people like you saying being a personality. I've heard that and gotten that before too. But be honest, 90% of the time, I'm giving you raw from the gut how I really feel, what's on my mind, like spontaneously. I don't even think about most of this shit. It's not even like I'm trying to be no type of way. I'm living like everybody else. And I'm just trying to make sense of this experience. And I'm trying to do right. And that's what motivated me to go do the whole military thing. You think about how you seen what was happening in the game. It's like you want to be recognized for your talent, but at the same time, you don't want to continue to add to the poison. So you try to
That's a
do what
fact.
you can lyrically, presentation wise, brand wise, whatever. But at this stage in my life, I'm too old and too busy with other things to even care about the bullshit.
That's a
So
fact.
that's why I'm where I'm at.
And
That's where I'm
and
at.
and that's what encouraged me, because it's like at the end of the day, when I kept seeing, so many people that look like myself being, buried, families losing loved ones behind all this stuff, and I felt to myself, I'm like, I can't continue to keep contributing to the destruction that's in our lives right now. So if I can start,
Mhm.
speaking more so life into people more so than
Mm,
death, and if
right,
that can help change somebody's mindset and to speak positive
right,
situations into their lives and everything, then cool. But I don't want to keep, going off of this whole stuff that we continue to glorify, because it seems like the more we continue to glorify it, things continue to get out of hands. And it's like now it's like you're starting to see more and more now in this particular era, we're starting to see more and more about rappers getting killed than what we have. Like the biggest thing back in our time was Biggie and Tupac when they both got killed. You know what I'm saying? Like before then, we wasn't really hearing too much about artists on a mainstream level dying violently due to something within the industry itself. But nowadays, it's like this is just like it's like nowadays this is just a trend now. It's like every day you turn on the radio or you listening to something on YouTube and you're seeing this rapper just got killed or that rapper got killed. I didn't want to continue to keep contributing to that. So I was like, you know what? I got to make a change and it got to start for me. Like whether anybody else follow that lead, that's up to them. But me, I can't be the one to continue to keep contributing to that. So that's what, you know. Right.
No, finish what you were going to say.
No. That's it right there.
I was just going to say that, you know, you were taught like to put your lyrics together the way you did. You see what I'm saying? Like that was all by design. That was agenda to continue to spread that just like terrible message amongst the community. And making a conscious effort to change that is major, because it takes people like you to now show a different like way to do things so that people can start doing that, because otherwise they're just going to continue to do what they're taught, you know. This is just teaching them a new way. So like, yeah. And I'm sorry, but like, you know, the question is always like, does art persuade life, or does life persuade art? And I think that a lot of times art persuades life nowadays because it's mainstream and it's pushed and forced on us. So like, how can it not sway real life, you know, in society, when it's basically our teacher?
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
I think that sometimes, yeah, obviously there are times when society does sway art as well. When you see like regular artists like us, you will see like their life has affected their art. But like when you look at like a lot of this major impacts in life, art is definitely affecting life.
That is true.
And it looks like Gus did answer you too, by the way, Sick. He said, hear colors, visual symbolism, speak volumes, see music, hearing frequencies, putting the picture to thought and manifestation.
I would love to have Gus on to break that down. I don't want to mess up his definition with what he's saying, but you know, I can vibe with that. Like in terms of a response, I mean, we've been taught everything. You know, you taught hearing, you taught singing. Somebody say, what do you mean? I hear sounds. No, somebody told you to use the words hear to represent what's happening when you have the frequency vibrating in your head. If somebody told you that's a sound. If they had told you that this is your eyes and that's a sight, you wouldn't know the difference. So I kind of think that's what Gus is saying, is that look at things from a different perspective, which kind of makes me think about what we were talking about earlier, about, you know, changing our mind frame, you know, putting picture to thought and things of that nature. Gus, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong in the comments. I appreciate that feedback, good brother.
Yeah, man. I definitely like that right there. It's just, you know, like to go off of what he's saying, and you know, when you read what he's saying, it says here colors, visualize symbolism, speak volumes, see music, hearing frequency, putting the picture to thought, manifestation. You know, a lot of that is what we do as artists. You know, like when we're sitting down to a blank canvas, and our canvas is that beat. So we're listening to that, and we're resonating with whatever music is speaking to us. See, me, like when I was really heavy into my artistry, and it used to freak me out. And you can ask my man Jap, he'll tell you, like, it used to freak me out because sometimes I would just be sitting there and I'll be listening to the beat. And then like I listen, and then like 15 minutes into the beat, as I'm listening to it, it just starts changing. It's like I can hear it actually start talking to me and everything like that. So like now I'm sitting there, it's tripping me out But at the same time, I'm still writing. I'm like, yo, this is getting good or whatever. But yo, this shit
Uh-huh.
it's creeping me out. But I'm still doing this and everything, you know. So it's like after a while, that blank canvas, and when
The
you sitting
page be
there,
full.
yeah, you start to fill up the page real quick, you know.
Right. They don't teach us about the sixth sense, neither the subconscious. They make us focus on our five physical senses. That's where the programming begins. So
Oh,
I was
anytime they put
kind of right.
limitations on you, you should question it.
Mhm.
I
I
mean,
And then
encourage.
we don't even just have six senses, I'm sure of it.
I never heard of pineal gland until like post
For real?
college. Seriously, I'm sure I can't say that they didn't teach it because I'm sure I had biology in ninth grade in high school, but I ain't have go to class in ninth grade.
See,
You know, you'd wonder if anyone else took biology in ninth grade,
see,
though, because if they
Uh,
did,
and that's the
hey,
thing.
listen,
See, like school, they don't teach you to be better for yourself. They teach you to be better for somebody else.
yeah,
They
to get a
don't
good job.
exactly. They don't teach you how to be self
They teach you
improved.
what to think, not how to think.
yeah,
Exactly.
I won't even begin to debate that because that's what they tell you
That's
they
not
created
for me.
the
Yeah.
education system for. It was about creating a class of workers for
Yeah,
factory jobs, basically. They don't
Yeah.
even
Pretty
have
much.
factories in the country no more. But that being
right.
said,
Facts, Gus.
you learn what you learn. Like I said, some people, sit in school and they absorb every single thing and they
Yeah,
still wind up in the same
congratulations.
position with that, most of us are in. So, again, the information, while it matters to me, I'm looking more application. Where's the both the nurturing as well as, the wisdom as far as what you're talking about. It's good to know what you're talking about. But if you know what you're talking about and don't have my best intention at heart, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm at your mercy and your grace if you have any. So
But see, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you, but
okay.
what I was gonna see that comes down to the individual. See, if you're
Oh yeah,
willing to accept what you're being fed and you don't
Mm,
question it, then that's on you.
mm,
So if you
right.
get fed
mm-hmm.
some bad information, that's your fault because you did not do the due diligence to go back and do the
And
research
research
on the
that yourself.
information that you was taught. Right. So at
Oh
the
yeah,
end
I
of the day,
totally agree with you.
Especially now in this day.
I was
yeah,
looking more at it
You
from
got the
probably like
information at your fingertips. Use
probably like a kid,
DuckDuckGo.com, but
like
you
a
got the
real young
information at your
kid
fingertips.
being
right.
like, maybe led by the masses because we were talking about education earlier, and
Yeah,
how they
true.
teaching and stuff real early. But I agree even with the children, especially now, and I actually I challenge a lot of my young like nieces and nephews with this. Like, yeah, you got Google right there. Look it up.
Man,
Like look it up. We couldn't look everything up.
Yeah.
They used
you
to
had to go
tell us
find an
all the time.
encyclopedia, which
Remember,
you
they used
could
to
Like
tell
say
us all the time,
Google.
you need to
That was
learn how to
ridiculous.
do these functions that they teach you in math because you're not gonna have a calculator with you all the time
all the
everywhere you
time,
go.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
And
fact.
now we have a calculator everywhere we go all the time.
everywhere we
Yeah,
go.
How
because
about if I don't have my phone, you got your phone?
yeah,
We always got a calculator around us.
I
and that's
got
the
two
thing. Technology
phones.
has made a lot of us dumber. You know, a lot of technology does the work for a lot of us. So at the end of the
Dewey
day, like
Decimals.
it caused a lot of us to regress in a sense when it comes to
Yeah,
like our intellectual and the way we think and also
yeah.
do
Too much
things.
convenience is not a good thing.
That's a
Yeah,
fact. That's a fact.
yeah.
People don't even realize too much convenience makes them lazy. They don't
Yeah,
realize it,
that's a
but
fact
it does.
because convenience develops dependency, and once you
It
get to that point
does.
when you're dependent, then it's kind of hard to not be dependent anymore.
Actually,
I'm to the point like I don't even like to text anymore. I don't like talking on the phone. I don't want to text either. Like I almost want to like swipe or voice to text
Hmm.
yeah, I hear
or
that.
just send you a whole voice message and then just get it over with.
And
Like
I was
Hmm.
telling you
that's
earlier,
kind of sad when you think about it because we used to write everything and fold them up into little cute like
true.
shapes
Hmm.
and stuff.
Girls used to do that. We guys
Boy,
might have
bye,
got
because y'all
we
would
might have
fold
get
it
y'all
right back
might
and
have
give
get
it
y'all
back.
like might get y'all like four squares,
Do
maybe
you like me?
six.
Yes or no?
Right, yeah.
Right. It's like,
I ain't
that's
doing the extra full. I send it back to you
oh, you
balled up and
cute.
throw it at you. Like I ain't got
Yeah.
Yeah,
time for
right.
that origami stuff
Well, you would
now.
I'll
have
be
never
like,
got
yo,
another
go
note from
pass
me
this along.
again.
Darn.
Because I spent time to fold mine and my origami was on point.
Well, I
So,
was out of luck anyway. The odds was not in my favor apparently. I had to live with it. But that's why I already said like the whole thing with the the learning and experiential like process, right? And so like that ownership, I had to think about that. And that was
Mhm.
something that Gus had proposed and like it just never even when you chasing that dream in the music industry, people aren't educating you, people aren't really explaining to you
They're not.
how a person becomes economically successful. The only thing you see in our kind of trying to emulate or replicate is what they is called being viral now or being popular. But
Mhm.
when you do the research, you find that it's a lot of popular artists that is poor.
Right, that's true.
And so you talk about the knowledge. Yeah, it is your responsibility to get out there to do it and find out for yourself, especially if that's something you think you want to do.
But that artist got to ask themselves: are they chasing the actual passion, the dream itself, or are they chasing the perceived notion of what they claim or what they feel as though is success based off of what the general mass is telling us what success is? And that's when it
Right. The
comes to anything.
glamorous lifestyle.
Exactly. Are you chasing your actual passion? Do you really desire to be the number one artist? Do you really desire to be the person that you want to be? Or are you just chasing the fact that you see everybody over here is doing this same trend and it made that person a lot of fucking money? So at the end of the day, are you chasing the passion? Or are you chasing just the attention? Is what you got to
Right.
ask yourself.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
That's
that's
real.
that was where I differentiated. I knew I wanted attention,
Attention is everything, man.
but I had to figure out what type of attention I wanted.
Oh yeah, attention is a very, very powerful and addictive drug. Like
Right.
people won't think it, but it very is. It is very
Yeah.
addictive. Attention, you know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah, it
It really is.
definitely is. But I said intention is everything.
That's true.
Because your intention behind something is everything. So like just piggybacking off of what you said with why are you doing it? Like
Mhm.
your intention behind is everything. So if your intention is just focused on money and trying to um catch that lifestyle, you may not be as
Mhm.
successful as if you like you said, you really did just love it. Like when you do things simply for the love of them and just because it's something that's natural and fun for you,
Mhm.
and that you just enjoy it, you're always more successful.
That's a fact. And like when you just chasing things because everybody else is doing it, chances are you're not going to be as successful as maybe somebody else would. If
Yeah,
you
you're
really
gonna
chase,
fall off from it.
exactly.
You can't possibly have the same passion for something if you don't have the passion for it. You either have the passion for it or you don't.
Mhm. That's a fact. That's a fact. And a lot of people out here is getting, the passion for what it is that you're trying to accomplish in life confused with the attention part of it, because a lot of
Mm.
people just want the attention and to give the perception that they're out there actually doing something when in reality they're not doing shit. They're just sitting around and on social media all day. So
They do anything for clout. They
yeah,
do
pretty
anything
much.
for clout.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah, I
much.
think that was definitely something that kind of like I guess got attached to the game as far as hip hop music in general, but hip hop in particular I think kind of suffered in that way, and I think that kind of impacted the evolution. Kind of how like to be honest, I don't want to sound like I'm hating or being critical, but I don't even know if like we can even say it's not like really like a lot of really hip hop being made now, I guess. But I know I'm probably speaking from a vacuum because that's not saying there ain't other independent artists, but I'm thinking more so like commercially.
Nah,
If
you're right. There's I mean, when it comes to commercial, like I feel as though like the powers that be, they're going off of what really they feel as though is driving the market. See, they don't give a fuck
right,
about how it impacts you as a person going
right,
forward and how
right,
that it helps you sculpt and build your future. The only thing they worry about is their bottom line.
right, right,
Mm.
right,
And then when you look at a lot of things like, well, a lot of these drill rappers and a lot of them are, getting these mega deals, they fail to realize a lot of these labels that they're getting signed to are putting out life insurance policies on them because they know they're high risk.
Well,
So
I'm
they,
glad you said that. Not
yeah,
not trying to be funny, but
nah, you good.
I got I got a so you might be making a slightly different statement from what I'm saying, but I got my own I guess theories about that
Mm-hmm.
because while there are, I mean, it's proof that a lot of artists, whether it's hip hop, rock and roll, whatever, a lot of artists are essentially high risk for their labels because of their
Yeah,
behavior, in public and hotels,
You
etc.
yeah.
Um, I'm not saying all. I ain't saying all. I'm
But do
just saying a
you
lot.
guys really think that that's why they're putting life insurance
Well,
policies
I'm
on these
getting. I'm,
Let
guys?
me,
I'm
let
slow
me.
walking. I'm
Okay, let
slow
me.
walking there. But I was just going to just end there with I'll compare to Walmart.
To answer your question, Mal, let me ask you this: where do you think
Yeah.
most rich people have their money?
You said where do they have it?
Where do they hide their money?
Where do they hide it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where
In
do
their
rich?
mattress?
Where do most
In the
rich
wall
people?
behind in the
No, no,
wall
no,
behind their grandpa's picture?
no. You would think so, but
Probably
the
the
instant.
picture itself, actually.
His eyes that move.
No. But this is the thing.
No, but
See,
for real, what? I'm tied up in shit like investments and whatnot. Yeah.
Right.
okay, see, a lot of people would think as to investments. A lot of people think that the number one thing where people like rich people hide their money is investments in real estate. That's not the truth. A lot of rich people hide their money in their assets through
In
corporations
their
and
ass, that
insurance.
makes sense.
Right.
And insurance.
Right.
Insurance. They hide a lot of stuff through insurance. So at the end of the day, if I am a company that I know that I have a hot artist, but he's a high risk because of the environment he lives in. And I know for a fact that there's a possibility that this guy has a 9 out of 10 chance of getting killed the moment he signs his deal. Goddamn right, I'm going to take out an insurance policy because not only am I protecting my interest, and only am I not insuring my interest. Excuse me, and not only am I ensuring my interest, I'm also knowing that this is a possibility that you may pass away. So I know there's going to be some lucrative ends coming my way if you do pass away while I got this insurance policy out on you. I'm going to recollect
When?
that one. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's why you see a lot of
Walmart
these
does the
labels.
same. Walmart, well,
Exactly.
they did the same thing to their employees, and that's why, while it might sound, you
That was
know,
weird.
conspiratorial, it's like, nah, it's proof that, like you said,
It's
big
not a
money,
conspiracy.
You know,
big
it also
money.
makes it much easier that when you kill them off, it was just looks like, you know, they were in some
No,
gang
but
shit.
see, but in insurance,
Or
you
they
can't
OD'd
do
on
that
some
because
drugs or they killed themselves or whatever.
in most insurance policies, especially when it comes to life insurance, a lot of the insurance companies or the insurer or the person that's taking out the policy on the insured, they have a clause in there where they can't do those things. So you can't take out a policy and then look to get somebody whacked within the next couple of weeks or whatever, because it's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? They got clauses and stuff like that within that's not going to allow
I
that to
hear
be
you.
possible. So
I hear you.
Yeah, they going to dig deep in their pockets if they want to go that route.
Definitely.
But that was all I was throwing out there, was just that, you know,
Mhm.
the fact that, again, when I want to break into the market because I want access to the stream of money that I'm thinking as an independent artist is in New York City. But then you start realizing where the real streams of money actually at. It's not just random people walking around dropping money in a hat. The reality of it is that you try and get a deal with a label, or you try and get in with somebody who's going to be an investor and help you take your product to the next level, and that's probably going to mean maybe 5 or 6 figure budget that you didn't have independently. But once you start dealing with those types of relationships, whether it's black market, you know, in the street, in the hood, or whether you're doing that in corporately, it's all human beings. It's going to be all the same outcomes. Run me, mop, and money.
That's a fact. Yeah.
And it better have an interest. I don't want to hear about I owe you, I'll bring it back. That's human nature. Like, you don't understand who them motherfuckers got to pay. Because you just sitting with one person. You don't know who really got. So that's why I started realizing was that I wanted to keep ownership of my life. Not so much that I thought that I was going to go viral or something like that, but just it really boiled down to that you're not going to encumber me with a whole bunch of obligations just to make you happy as a financier, when I'm going to have to lose what I'm really, like y'all was saying, what I'm really in it for in the first place, just to get a couple extra dollars that I owe you. It's just a loan. When I started seeing it for that, I said, man, I get a better loan from the bank. You know what I'm saying? I can make better moves, you know, the way I do working independently and raising money, doing other things. I just take my time with it. I don't need nobody to tell me when I'm supposed to cut a check. Cut an album or a check. Fuck that. I do it my way.
Yeah, but see, that's where it goes back. That's where it goes back to the attention. You're chasing the illusion at the end of the day, instead of actually doing your due diligence, and you realize like you're not going to make a lot of money within a record deal nowadays. I'm not saying that you won't make money, but you probably make a lot more money on your own and doing your thing than what you would if you was assigned to a label. And what I mean by that is a lot of the money that you make as an independent, you're going to keep that yourself. If you don't have too
Right.
many different people with their hands in your pocket, whereas a label, you got to pay that events, you got to pay everything from studio costs to promotion to marketing to, you got to pay your legal fees and everything. You got to pay a whole lot of different fees. So how much of that money at the end of the day are you really recouping as an artist with a deal? And then you look at the situation with Summer Walker. A lot of these people, they just want to be able to run around and say, oh, I got a deal. I got signed. I'm signed to X and Y and Z and all this shit. But at the end of the day, they're not reading the stipulations within that contract. And now, as you see with Summer Walker, and I'm not trying to, talk shit about her, but I'm using it as an example. You end up in a situation where her was like, well, damn, like, did she really pay attention and understand her contract? So
Can you
it's
break
like
it down real quick for the people a little bit what the scenario is?
with the scenario with Summer Walker.
Yeah, with the contract.
Yeah, from what I understand, because I can't repeat it everything off of verbatim. Cause I actually seen this article like 2 months ago, and they were saying that Summer Walker, she only makes about like maybe 15 cents, if that,
Mm-hmm.
or some. It was saying she
It's a
doesn't
real
make
small
the money
amount.
right. She doesn't make the amount of money that she should be making is because at the end of the day she didn't understand her contract. So
Right.
what it is she's basically a slave to that contract and a slave to that label when it boils
Right.
down to it.
Okay, that's cool. I appreciate you sharing that because I was going to piggyback off of that, saying that's what I was always concerned about
Mm-hmm.
was that not understanding. They say the devil's in the details. What is it? Why is this man who has all this money going to put this stack of paper or even a thin couple pieces of paper in front of me to give them quote unquote ownership of what I created or me and my squad created, and they give me some money, but then on the flip side, it's like, hold up, wait a minute, like y'all own the music,
Mm-hmm.
y'all
Yeah.
own it, like y'all
Yeah.
own it. So that you start looking at people like Michael Jackson and Prince and all them, you start understanding the type of struggle that they was going through because
Mm-hmm.
the people who have the money to make you as successful as most artists want to be, they gonna take everything you got for you to be that successful. And then
That's a
when you
fact.
even in position to be able to get anything back, you'd be lucky if you find somebody willing to concede some portion, if at all, the totality of your rights to your music, etc.
That's a
And I
fact.
say that where it's a lot of quote unquote conspiracies about Michael Jackson's death and even Prince's death. Uh, but I'll say what we know is not a conspiracy. Styles P himself went online and was saying how he was having problems with getting royalties from "I'll Always Love You, Big Papa."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now we talking
Now,
about one of the most successful artists in terms of hip hop of our era,
yeah.
in terms of the Locks and what they meant to the game and what they still mean to the game, and
They
how
had a
they
my fault.
they
My fault, guy.
No, I just going, and I'm just saying how it makes no sense how
Yeah.
they can't. And like I know Puff even said publicly, he was like, "Yo, you know, my hands is tied because
That was
Universal."
one. Yeah, that was one of the
So,
most infamous situations that happened between Bad Boy and the Locks.
mm-hmm.
They actually had it out on Hot 97 in the middle of
Oh, I remember
I think it was Angie
Angie
Martinez show and
Martinez. I
everything.
remember.
Yeah, they had it out about that. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of it comes down because the music industry knows that a lot of these people that they're getting that's coming to them, they're looking for these deals, they're coming
Mm-hmm.
from situations where they don't have shit.
Right.
So so you present an amount of money on the table.
That shit sounds good.
Yeah, exactly. This person got a price, so they're not gonna really think about it. Only thing they're gonna see is that amount of money that's on that table, and they're like, "Oh shit, word!
Yep.
What I gotta do to get that? Oh, just sign right here on this dotted line. Word, yo, I want that $1 million. So let me sign it." And then you
That
sign
looks
all
like
this
a
other
lot of
shit.
food when you're hungry.
Exactly, and then you're not realizing what you just signed. They're gonna make 50 million off of you while you just got that 1 million right there.
And you got to pay it back.
Can I just throw this? Can I thank you for saying that too? I just wanted to say this. So that's why I mean when I say being on your show caused me to think about those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
Conversations with Gus caused me to think about those types of things. The process of waiting for my success to bubble or to go viral or whatever, and I'm probably still waiting on that, but whatever, it causes me to think about the necessary things so that I can maintain ownership.
Mm-hmm.
The key part is for me, like you said earlier, I gotta ask the questions. I can't just take what they tell me. or you'll never be able to
Yeah.
do it yourself. You can't make it happen. Nobody's gonna support that. Oh, it's corny. Nobody likes that. I never had nobody tell me to my face I was corny ever. I knew from the fact that I never had nobody tell me to my face I was corny that I had a talent. It's a lot of talented people out here. There's a lot of people out here that ain't talented that's getting supported.
That's a fact.
The problem is that most of us who have some talent have very little to no support.
That's a fact.
And one thing, like I said to you earlier on, that's why I always appreciate people, and I'm always remain this way in terms of being authentic. No matter what platform I'm on, create, or able to participate in, it's going to be the same. Support those who support.
Absolutely.
That's the only way you get where you're trying to go.
Absolutely. But see, this is another thing too. Like, something I've learned also while I've been, within this space. I can't get upset, or I can't, expect people to support me, especially if I'm just putting things out. I gotta go out there and I gotta work. I gotta manifest it to get that support. Because at the end of the day, like, people think that just because I put out a hot freestyle, a hot 16 or whatever, and I said some punchlines that got people with the screw face and everything, and they're telling me, hey, yo, this is the shit or whatever. Cool.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I gotta go out there and I gotta work and manifest that support, because just because my people just because those people within my immediate circle fuck with that freestyle, now I gotta go out here and make the masses fuck with that freestyle. And I gotta create my own support off of doing that. So you gotta get out there as an artist and you gotta do the legwork, because if not, then you're not going to benefit much. You only getting back what you put out. That's what a lot of people fail to realize. You can't put a little bit in and expect immediate gratification is so abundant that you can't, receive them. That's not how the thing works. You got to plant that seed, and you got to go out there. You got to nurture that seed in order for that to grow. And that's what a lot of people get misconstrued when it comes to anything.
I guess say, honestly, I'm glad you shared that too. Because for me, I guess in some ways I was kind of fortunate to never had that affliction, if you will. I never got in the game thinking I was going to be a millionaire or wanting to be. I just got in the game because I knew I had something to say. And even then, I knew I didn't want to say it the exact same way. I was just figuring it out, and I knew it was going to be a process. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, the one thing I did realize, though, was that I didn't know. And so I always kind of had a humble, like, I'm trying to figure it out. But I don't want nobody trying to play me or take advantage of my ignorance.
Yeah,
that's the one thing we know, that the hood, you learn that fast, that if you don't stay kind of, savvy about what you do or don't know in certain situations, you stuck. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like, look, I'm gonna maintain like I said, my entrepreneurship, my ownership over what I'm doing. But I understood it was a process of learning, and like you said, that grind. I never despised the grind, bro. I never hated the grind. I never felt like the small show was too small for me. And so I co-sign with you, everything you're saying on that. I just say that the other side of that, I think, is just ignorance. It may be some immaturity. You just see it and you're like, man, I could spit that. I got, like you said, I got my whole block chirping off of that line I just dropped on them, and now my man he about to bubble. And now you thinking about stuff you never thought about, right? And then you start realizing how big that gap is.
Right, but how many on your block are going back and telling other people on the next block over, about, yo, this
we're listening to your shit more than that one time you played it for them.
Exactly. Right. That's why I say you got to get.
Who goes to follow you on Instagram or goes on Twitter or on YouTube and subscribes and watches all your fucking shit that you drop? Like, who goes and gets the album? Like, comes to the show?
Yeah, listen, I'm with y'all on that, and I guess for me, that's another thing where I start realizing, like you said, just because you drop that hot bars and you got block chirping, that don't mean everybody gonna be like, chirp, chirp. That's the next whoever, you know what I mean? But like you said, that's why even when I approached you, it was like, listen, I know you probably got a gazillion dudes who sound like some of the stuff I do, so I just figured for whatever reason, something you heard, it resonated. You know what I mean? Right. And I let my experiences be that way, because I'm trying to always learn. Because like I said, I always come on that tip with it. But like I said, it's because I realized, though, I don't know. And I know from other areas in life how much I didn't know and I thought I did. So I guess hip hop, as far as the industry and being an independent artist, I've always been fortunate to have that disposition. Me and my partner Guns had shout out to Tommy Guns, partner at 3B, part of 3B. We had got opportunities to get signed back in the day, like way back in the day. And it was just like I told him, like, man, I got the universe got something different for me than just put my name on a piece of paper that I don't really understand. So one last thing I just wanted to say on this piece is that when I start realizing the power of maintaining my ownership, especially as it pertains to being a songwriter, and how they dig down on that ownership and on them royalties and paying them back them advances, because they know not only are they going to recoup off of your work now, but they're going to recoup off of your work when you dead in the grave.
Oh yeah,
Because
that's
see
a fact.
that music, the music don't go nowhere. It goes into the Library of Congress. It goes into the Ethernets or whatever, the internets, as George Bush said. It goes out there in the
Internet.
clouds, right? And then you look
Right.
up, and your music might have flopped in your lifetime, but whoever
They
you
making
released
money
it
off of it.
through, yes. And not only they
They
making
making
money
money
off
off
of
of
the
it.
little publishing that you paid them, but then they got a 15% admin fee with some type of ownership rights, and they
Yeah.
done sold your music to somebody overseas, and it's in a commercial with a whole different language slapped on it, and you don't know because you ain't been taking the time to find out, because all you could think of is what you saw.
Yeah.
So that's why I started saying I'm gonna appreciate the grind, and that's why I say again I appreciate your time back then and even now, and what I know was gonna happen in the future. Because we're gonna continue to make spaces like this available for people so that we can all really, really grow and be where we need to be at. Because listen, ain't nobody gonna try to stop this hurricane or this avalanche of what's coming in terms of the elites and all that stuff. But we not gonna go for the BS. We not gonna go for the
Right.
okie doke. It's too
It's a
many
fact.
opportunities to maneuver, and the universe is on our side. They just people too. For the ones that is, I know people say it's aliens and lizard people out there too. I don't know. I ain't checked nobody tail parts yet, but I'm just saying the reality of it is, whatever their agenda is, it's not for me, and it's not for we. Our tribe is not going for that. We gonna keep doing what we've been doing. You already testified to. We 5 years strong. A nickel underground. They say most businesses collapse in 5 years. They don't even know what we doing over here.
Nah, we
Break
definitely
big,
not
get
building.
some.
We definitely not building anything that's going to collapse anytime soon. But see, what we need to get back to as a community, we got to get back to showing it's okay. It's cool to be smart. It's cool to be informed. It's cool to be in the know of things, because it's a lot of that not knowing that keeps a lot of us in the situations we're in right now. See, like me and my brother, we always have this conversation all the time. And I'm like, yo, at the end of the day, people be like, well, a lot of people turn to the streets because they feel hopeless. They don't got nothing else going on. That's bullshit. That's what we're taught to do. We're taught to turn to the streets because we feel like we don't have no other opportunity out there. We got to go and create our opportunities. We got to being, so caught up in this bullshit and trying to appease the hood, because when you're dead and gone, they don't give a fuck. They move on. You'll show up on a t-shirt, the next thing you know, that's it.
Facts.
And if you're lucky, you might get a fucking mural if that's possible. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we got to make it cool again to be knowledgeable about certain situations and encourage people to go out there and learn about certain situations so they can get out of this fucking rat race that a lot of us are in when it comes down to it. Because a lot of us are still stuck in this thing space because we don't know. We don't know where to go looking for the information. And then when we do get the information from certain people, especially people that look like us, we think it's some kind of a scam or something.
Hey, speak on it, good brother.
So it's like at the end of the day, we got to get to this point where we're back to it takes a village, so to speak. And I know that's usually, used towards like youth and children and stuff like that. But even as a community ourselves, even grown adults, we got to learn to grow together, especially now in these times when they're taking away your rights, they're taking away your privileges, your freedoms, and things like that. They're not allowing you to work unless you have that fucking shot and all that foolishness.
Right.
We got to get back into a situation where we're a community again. We can't continue to keep allowing the powers that be to keep us divided because we don't know shit. And that's basically when it comes down to it.
Real talk, bro. Amen to that, brother.
Facts. Absolutely. Unity is super important. Like, man, I can't even express, like, there's not even words to express how important it is right now for the Lions to band together. I don't think it's too late for people to wake up to some things, but it's gonna take. Like, I don't know what it takes. I don't know what it takes. Something in people clicks. Certain things make people click. I can't tell you what wakes up who at what time. It's just
Survival.
none of us know. It's different. Everybody has a vibration that's gonna snap them awake. But you know, some of us right now, our voices are raising people's vibration, are waking
Yeah.
people up. We don't even realize it, upgrading them, all kinds of things that our voices do just by us speaking our truth.
Hmm.
So it's super important that we do things like this. That's really why I wanted you to be here with us tonight, Emilio, because I know that you're a lion too. So, you know, we it's soul pride over here, not soul tribe. We are soul pride. So,
Absolutely.
you know, and it's important that that we use our voices as much as possible. I know a lot of people are losing their jobs, sadly,
Yeah,
over this sort of
sadly.
thing, but that should really wake people up a lot. There's so many things that should really show people that there's a lot of craziness going on here. And no matter which side of the fence you're on, you should still be on high
Yeah,
alert and you should pay attention.
that's the fact.
Because, for one, something that I failed to mention last week when we were talking about the Bang Boogie was that people
The
are
bang
not
boogie, I
maybe
like that.
yeah, maybe not opening their eyes to the fact that we've seen 3 variants and they are on now on their 4th shot in 1 year. Like
It's
just think about
bullshit.
that for a second. In this year alone, we are on our 4th shot and there's been 3 variants. And
And
every
this is
single variant, remember Emilio, I told you that we
yeah,
were talking about this
like
the other day. Every single variant has been more harsh and like more easily the people getting most sick are the next age
Contagious.
group of
Okay,
people
yeah.
down every
yeah.
time, and then that's who gets approved,
For the shot.
emergency approved
But
for this thing.
they know they got so many people so fucking bamboozled over this whole
Oh my
bullshit
god, it's that
that
subconscious because
yeah,
they will
it's
not unplug from that
the the,
motherfucking zombie box.
the fear propaganda that the media, politicians, and celebrities have
Mm.
created over the last 2 years. It's just fucking. This is, I would have to say, this is the greatest psychological experiment that I've ever seen in 37 years I've been here on this earth,
Yeah.
because I never seen so many people this fucking afraid, this fucking scared,
Mm-hmm.
this fucking brainwashed ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
From
Agreed.
2020 up until this point right now, I've never seen it like this ever. So it's like whatever like hypnosis they use to control the minds of people out there who think that taking people and removing people from their communities, from their society, and putting them in these camps in Australia and stuff like that.
That is
They think this shit
dangerous
like that.
water.
Got you. But at the end of the day, like when you see people like that agree with the shit that's going on, it's like, come on, like how is it that they allowed you to get this scared to the point where you think that it's okay to strip people of their freedoms for a fucking disease or a virus, whatever you want to fucking call it, that still has a 99% survival rating?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, come on.
That's real dangerous water we're treading in doing stuff like that. The moment you open doors, you allow them to open doors like that, good luck shoving them back out and closing the door. How?
Exactly.
How do you anticipate doing that? That's what I would like to know. I would love for somebody who is super pro-vax, who like thinks that everyone should be forced to do it and you shouldn't be allowed to do this or that without it. I would love for one of you to explain to me how you expect to close that door back up again, and what happens when they're trying to force you to do something that you know for a fact is bad
Absolutely.
for you, and you're completely against it. What happens then? Oh, now your
Absolutely.
voice matters.
Two things. When you give up so much ground, you're never going to get that ground back. So when we
No.
give up so many freedoms to
No.
allow them to do the bullshit that they're doing, they're not going to get that ground back that we gave
No,
up.
never.
So you motherfuckers that's okay with lockdowns, with mask mandates, with mandates, people losing their jobs, people can't go and participate in society unless they have this shot. And when a lot of y'all motherfuckers out there is still getting sick, even after you done took your 5th shot, like,
and people are
fuck outta
dying
here.
from these shots.
I think that's the one thing that really it makes me wonder why. But then my first answer in my mind is just fear.
Yeah.
really just like,
But then
even
also
if it's just a fear of just like acknowledging that this is actually happening.
that's true. But then also you got a lot of this incentivized compliance, as I like to call it. And what I
Oh
mean by
my,
incentivized compliance is they are giving you incentives to go out here and take this shit, but
oh
they're not
yeah,
being held
okay.
liable for it.
So yeah, so that definitely, that right there. I mean, I like I said, care. Like, apparently you don't care about what happens to me. You say you want me to be better, but you're not gonna be, cause like for real, like all right, let's say if I'm a vaccine manufacturer, right, and
Mm.
my interest is to actually protect people, I'm going to make sure that I'm making everybody right if something I did made somebody wrong.
Mhm.
So if I provide you with a shot, hey, my bad, it didn't work the way it was supposed to. I gotta either give you a better working shot or compensate you some kind of way. Now, to be quite honest, the way my mind works as a human being, if the first shot didn't work, I don't want no second shot as a compensation.
Third,
Mhm.
fourth, none of that.
No, we
Now
ain't talk about number over two, because you only gonna
Right.
get a chance to come back at me one more time, and that's when I'm either gonna run or defend myself. So I'm
right.
just saying that the reality of it is
Mm, mm,
those simple
mm.
kind of elements really make me say what must be fear. And then, like you said, the incentivized element, in terms of, yeah, like even now how Philly is now on the same level as New York City,
Shit,
San
bro.
Francisco,
Let me tell you,
with
they was incentivizing drugs, giving people illegal drugs like crack, heroin,
I
meth,
know they was
Yep.
using weed at one
those kind.
point.
Yeah, weed. They was doing no. Well, weed is
Chicken
legal in New
sandwiches
York.
and shit.
Yeah,
Weed is
chicken
legal in New York,
sandwiches.
so we can't
They
put
did
that
the
on that list. But you know
no,
what I
no. I'm
mean.
just, you right.
Nah,
No,
I
no,
know.
no. You already know. I
Nah,
smoke.
I was
Listen,
just joking around.
I'm 420 friendly. You already know. I'm advocating. My
Yeah.
bad, go, bro.
Nah, you good, bro. But what I was saying, like, they was incentivizing people to have these things in order to take it. Shouldn't that be a
Right.
red flag to any of you out there? Like, when have you, was you ever incentivized to take a flu shot? Was you ever incentivized to take any kind of medicine, experimental drug that has been placed on the market for your consumption? Have you ever
No,
been
not that's been
incentivized to
placed
take
on the
any of that?
market. But if you want to be part of the test trials, you can get paid for it.
That's a whole
And
nother conversation there
isn't that
too.
funny? Because they were offering like $1,000 at one point, weren't they? $1,200, $1,000, some shit like that to people.
But you got people out
So
here that was fucking.
Ohio had a lottery.
Yeah, they
They
did.
had a lottery. They had a lottery. You could have a chance to be a millionaire. Who wants to be a millionaire off the Bang Boogie?
But see, take this, but check this out. You had people that would go for that, but here in New York,
Right.
you had stupid motherfuckers that was going for the Krispy Kreme donut a day
Oh, the Krispy Kreme donuts.
free
Fuck, you
for the
got
rest of
bang
the year
boogied for a Krispy Kreme?
for a fucking
For a
donut. I'm dead
motherfucking
ass.
Krispy Kreme?
There's people in New York City right now that actually took the fucking Bang Boogie for a donut to be able to get a free fucking
Damn it.
donut for the rest of the year.
Damn it.
That hurts my heart, bro.
You better enjoy
Come
that
on,
shit. You better enjoy that shit.
I
Y'all
know
ever
that might
seen
have seemed like
y'all
I
ever
was
seen a
being
motherfucker get their
extra,
last
but
meal?
that shit hurts my heart, bro. I'm almost in fucking tears
Yeah.
over that, bro.
We
Like
had
that shit
our-
hurts my
Shit.
heart.
we had
Because that's what I'm talking about fear, and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
A lack of understanding. Like, you don't know what you don't know. So
Self-education.
so here it is. And granted, I'm with you. I don't absolve nobody of no responsibility to educate themselves, or even like
Mhm.
you saying, like kind of like question what the hell is going on,
Question
because this is
every
different. This
fucking
is
thing.
different. This is very
Please,
different.
always.
But it
Exactly.
hurts. It hurts because this is the condition. This is the condition. These are grown adults.
Yeah.
So what that mean for the kids? What that mean for the community?
Oh my God. Can
What
we
do that
not
mean
even?
in terms of, watch this? What do that mean in terms of, we talk about voting? Because all of this is coming down the pike from political leadership who's being elected by people who want them to give them fucking chicken sandwiches.
They have almost an entire generation. Our children's
That shit
generation
fucking hurts.
is like
Because
they're
I'm
so
sorry, Mel, my
conditioned to
bad.
think this
My
shit's
bad. Hear me
cool.
out.
But
Let me get this off. My bad. Because I'm fucked up right now. Like, people who went to war over this political system to maintain this democracy, maintain the rights, maintain everybody being fucking equal. Your vote supposed to matter just as much as the next person.
Mhm. That's a fact.
That's totally undermined. They don't tell me the Russians is fucking playing with Facebook and Trump got elected. Don't tell me it's about some overseas shit. This is our
Absolutely.
condition right here. This is why we doing Monat for me. Because this shit is Monat for me, man. You ain't gonna have me boxed in. I gotta do what y'all want. Because y'all motherfucking constituents want Krispy fucking Kremes.
Yeah, it's some real
Krispy
shit, bro.
Kremes.
I'm dead ass.
Fuck out of here, man. My kids ain't gonna raise. My kids is not growing up in this country like that. I went over there to fight. I will stay right here and fight. I ain't got to go nowhere to fight. Right or wrong, we grew up fighting in the hood, right or wrong.
Exactly, we did. We had the fucking mayor of New York City doing his daily COVID briefings. I don't know if y'all use
daily
that term
COVID briefings.
Yeah, because here in New York, we had during all that shit, we had Cuomo, we had De Blasio every day with some kind of briefing as into what's going on, just giving us updates. So this motherfucker comes on
just
one of his daily briefings. Once they started rolling out the bang bang boogie or whatever, this motherfucker had the audacity in front of 8.5 million people watching this briefing to sit there on stage eating a fucking Whataburger to incentivize it for people to go out there and get that fucking shot.
Right.
I'm dead ass. Like they was actually sitting here eating the fucking burger, eating fries, drinking this drink, and saying, "Yeah, you can have this too if you go out there and go take the shot." Like,
ew.
Fucking Nike commercial. Fucking Whataburger commercial.
Yeah.
A Whataburger commercial for the fucking Bang Boogie. That's the shit I'm talking about.
Yeah, like I'm not giving up my fucking freedoms for no fucking Five Guys. I can make Five Guys in my fucking kitchen.
Fuck out of here, man.
Shit. Like, you crazy.
Natural immunity lasts 50 plus years, man. It's been proven time and time again through science. But yet these motherfucking things, you got to go get injected fucking 4 or 5 times a year?
But that's the thing. Everybody want to sit here and keep listening to this fucking leprechaun, Dr. Fauci. Keep thinking that he's the great white hope.
Fauci,
when at the end of the day, when we had the AIDS epidemic back in the early 90s, he spearheaded that same fucking response in regards to the AIDS epidemic, and nothing good came of that. We didn't start
he's invested too.
Yeah.
He got like $500 million.
They're all invested.
He got like $500 million invested in the
They're all invested. That's why everybody's fucking whole entire net worths have doubled and tripled.
Everybody tripled
not just their yearly amount that they make. Their net worths have doubled and tripled.
Right.
Fuck.
Candace Jones said everything is calculated. Apparently, they know more than us. The media is only going to tell us what they're paid for. I love that point too. Thank you for adding that, Candace. Gregory Griffin said, should be choice. We don't force people to do things in America. I agree with that, Gregory. Thank you. I just wanted to recognize those other notes. Gus, we see your comments as well. Crystal, we see you. Thanks for checking in. It's just, we already know, and they're pointing about the media. Like, so as we listen to the media day in and day out talking about what's happening, right? Here's one thing I know for sure, 2 things for certain. They reading scripts. They reading goddamn scripts. So how different is the daggone
Our whole
news
president sounds like a freaking market
from a freaking actor?
ad. Sounds like an ad every time he speaks. He sounds like a fucking Pfizer ad every time
that
he
being
opens
the
his
case,
goddamn
but
mouth.
how different is the news reporter from Morgan Freeman?
Let's go, Brandon.
It's because it's like at the end of the day, it's like, yo, the shit that pissed me off when 2020, the elections and everything was coming up, y'all motherfuckers wanted to vote for, and I'm not, when I say motherfuckers, I'm not talking about you two, but I'm talking about the people out there that voted because they wanted the lesser of the two evils.
I hate that lesser of the two evils.
Yeah, like check this man's track record for 47 fucking years. He's been in politics. What has he done to help you that had the same skin color I had? What has he done? 94 crime bill. 88.
The man is a whole racist.
Like, come on.
A whole racist.
They're gonna put y'all back in chains.
Documented.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that piece got me too.
Racist.
I didn't see that part right there. The fact that he actually had the balls to say that.
He said you ain't black, by the way.
If you don't vote for me, I was like, yo, if that doesn't like eliminate him from contention, that's proof right there that Trump never had his
I was at work.
That was my
work
thought.
and I actually was listening.
And I'm not no Trump advocate, by the way.
Right. I'm not neither. I don't
You don't
fuck
have
with
to be
politicians at
anti
all.
him. That's what people don't realize. Those two things can be at the same time. You don't have to be pro somebody
That's
to
true.
be anti another motherfucker.
You
Okay.
know, the
Right.
funny thing about it
Shit.
is, I was actually at work the day they did that interview on the Breakfast
Anti
Club when he
both
said
them
that they
motherfuckers.
that you ain't black.
Yeah.
As soon as he said that and that shit, and I heard it, I laughed and I said, "Man, yo, you ain't black. That's some bullshit. You can suck my."
Okay.
Real talk.
After that, you know
That's
what I
how.
mean? Because
That's
it's
how I
like at the
felt
end of the
about
day,
it,
like
too.
the fuck out of here. Who are you
You
to
know what
tell me
though?
I'm not black if I don't vote for you? Nigga,
But
man,
this
get
what I
the fuck
seen on
out
a
of here.
whole
Fuck out
nother
of here.
level, right? So if you look at Black's Law Dictionary and the
Mm-hmm.
definition of what black is, right?
Hmm.
You look at the history of the people of color in this country and you look at how they've been forced to be categorized as black.
Right.
I really looked at it on the whole level of code, like he was talking in code. It
Hmm.
was almost like, oh, you want to be black and you proud, you want to be recognized as an equal in this country. Yeah, if you don't vote for me, you ain't getting shit.
And please,
Cause
like
I'm
at
the
the end of the
law.
day, that's the same fucking promise they put out there to black people every fucking election
Right,
year. And what happens? We
right.
get kicked out the ride.
Which is literally what's happening as we speak.
Even when there's a black
Exactly.
man in office.
It's
They
literally happening.
they went out there and they recruited, the services of a female that they claimed was black, but she's not black. We all know this. They claimed that they wanted
Oh,
to trump her up,
Kamala.
and I knew something. Yeah, and I knew something was wrong when she talked about, "Oh, I was listening to Tupac in college." Bitch, Tupac wasn't out in college when you was in college. He was in college in the '80s. What the fuck you talking about?
I was
Talking
gonna
about
say Shorty's way too old for that. Fuck
bitch,
you.
like Tupac was. He ain't dropped
How
until the '90s. How the fuck was you able to listen to Tupac in college and you was in college in the '80s, bitch? Like,
Listen,
the
all I
fuck at
knew
the end of the
was
day, man. Like,
as
come
soon as
on.
I heard that her parents was not from here, he's like, well, we already know what this game about. It's
But
a
see, they
bait and
did the same
switch.
thing with Obama and everything too. They did the same
Right.
thing
Mhm.
with Obama and everything like that. And they was really on it about Obama, but how did she get a pass?
Well, see,
Mm.
I fell for the Obama one, and I'll tell you how.
I did
Part
too.
of it was because and I only fell for it once. I didn't vote for him twice. And I didn't vote for him twice
Mhm.
because I corrected myself the first time I voted for him because, oh, we got a black president. Finally.
Mhm.
Nigga, get in there and fix some shit.
Right.
Mhm. So
Oh,
we thought,
four
right?
years, 4 years
Didn't we
later,
think?
ain't shit changed for me and mine.
Motherfucker went in there and
He
signed
didn't,
some death fucking
he didn't do
warrants. Is what he
nothing
Yeah,
did.
of
right.
substance to me, so I ain't gonna ask
Yeah.
him to do it
You
again.
know,
That
and
fucked
that's
me
crazy
one time.
because at the end of the day, like I thought Obama was a good president when we, during that time. But as I got older and I started really
Right.
looking
Yeah.
back on the 8
Mhm.
years he was in office, he didn't really do
Mhm.
that much for us as a community either.
Right. Well, I
No,
mean,
he
You know,
didn't.
here's the thing I come to understand about all presidents.
Mhm.
Their goal is not to do shit for our community. Their
No, it's
goal
not.
is to do for their
Yeah.
constituency.
It's for them.
And
Right.
I understand that is the game. So I'm not mad at nobody about it.
But
That
we
being
just take the
said,
bait.
that was the
Right.
thing. I was taking the bait up until 2008. I stopped right there. I ain't taking that
Mhm.
shit no more. I stopped voting altogether, to be quite frank. And I know people have
Yeah.
their issues with that, but again, you can't prove to me that if my vote is cast for the non-winning person that it counted. So
But you
you
do
figure that one
vote,
out. Get back to me.
They
right? But your
can't
vote
prove
doesn't
to
count
you
at
that
the
your vote.
federal level.
It doesn't ever.
It
It
only
doesn't count
counts
at the
at
federal.
the local. But watch this. Even on the
Exactly.
local level, if you vote for the loser, figure out what you counting with that. So all I'm saying is that when you play partisan politics, somebody's going to lose. And
Yeah.
in the economic structure, the people with the least economic power are going to be the losers. Don't matter how many of them it is. So that being said, I know where I stand at on this economic food chain. That's why
Yeah.
people like us always gotta cream cash for everything around me. Get the money, dollar bill, y'all, every single day.
Hey.
Why? Because we don't got no choice. They told us when we started this game, we was
Cash rules
over here.
everything around me.
So now we got to make moves to get over there. Meanwhile, they
Yeah.
over there making moves with the goalposts, saying, "Nah, come a little further, come a little
Man.
further."
But I like to liken that to the meme that I saw, where it has the picture of all what is supposed to be the richest men in the world playing a board game on the backs of the people that
Mhm.
built up this thing, and it said the game
Yes.
stops when we stand up.
Right. The
So at
house
the
of
end of the day,
cards
yeah. So
falls.
at the end of the day, when are we going to stand up? Like,
Facts.
look, in New York, they vaccinating or they're fucking mandating kids 5 to 11 to take this damn shot, and you have people that's running out there without much prior research or knowledge of what they're injecting into their kids. They're going out there blindly doing it and not knowing that the long-term effects that they're going to have on the kids is going to be something that you can't reverse.
Never, ever, ever.
And they're using these variants as a way to roll out or to justify the means to roll out these new shots and everything. And that's something I've been following for a while. I'm like, okay, when a new variant come out, they're going to drop a new booster shot. Follow the booster shot patterns. Yeah.
And everything gets approved for the next youngest level.
Exactly.
Now they want to approve for 2 and under, right? So guess what? The Omnicon, that's what I'm calling it because it's a universal con.
Exactly.
The Omnicon, it's most it affects the 2 and under category the most. Yet all we keep hearing about is all these other age groups getting sick as fuck, supposedly. Exactly. I don't know how this PCR test that couldn't tell us before when someone's actually actively sick, because that's not what it does. How does the test all of a sudden have the capability to tell us which variant somebody's sick with? Get the fuck out of here.
That is just not possible, because at the end of the day...
I see we have somebody on YouTube is commenting.
Avrashina. Yeah, Avrashina. Hope I ain't started your name, but
it's Avrashina.
Avrashina, she got a couple comments. I'm gonna start the second one. The jabs are the variants. I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, they are the variants, right?
That was my thought. So it's like, all right, maybe I'm just
I don't even know about all that, but
the other one, your vote counts, but not if your mindset is stuck in the 2-party system. Yeah, I kind of see that, but like I said, I mean, I'm just the type of person that if I'm gonna do something, I want it to be result producing. And you know, if I vote for the losing party, I don't feel like my vote counted. That's really my stance on it, and that's why I say 2-party system or multi-party system. I mean, listen, if we all have rights and we all got ownership of this national debt, why can't we all have equal right in how we govern this country? And I know people
do have equal right, but at the end of the day, a lot of people has been fooled into thinking that we don't have equal right. See, the government is supposed to be we the people, for the people, by the people. We are the people. So at the end of the day, we are electing you to go into this position to run this country. We, the people, elected you. So we do have that power. Just a lot of people gotten tricked and fooled into thinking that we don't.
We own the government and run the government. The government doesn't run and own us.
The pen is much more mightier than the sword when it comes down to it. And a lot of people think that our vote at the federal level counts when it really does not. We have seen that already with the 2016 election between
it's not even how they get presidential elections.
It's all electoral college anyway.
Electoral college.
Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. Trump won.
We can popular vote a motherfucker until our blue face.
Because electoral college is determined by the super delegates or whatever. So if you are like a senator or congressional person or whatever, you get chosen. That's enough. You don't elect super delegates; they get chosen. So I mean, that's why I say it's so many levels when you talk state, municipal, federal. Voting is most effective at the local level. Absolutely agree. But even like I said, if I'm voting for somebody who I know personally, I can testify to their particular record and activism. You know, I know I stand a chance of not being happy with the outcome, and that's why my personal gripe about the 2-party or bipartisan politics, especially when everybody is going to have an equal share in this indebtedness. Everybody is having an equal share in this harassment for this damn vaccination, bang boogie. Everybody's having an equal share of this stress and trauma that we being, hit with. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of the ability to change the course of things, everybody's preference ain't being respected equally, I guess is what I'm getting at. And I know as a person who went to serve this country, I know that's what I went to serve for, my right. And I will continue to serve, and this is a part of that service. So, it's just thoughts. Point
where we as a society has become comfortable with relying on the government to take care of us.
Yep.
Look at the situation with welfare and females that go out there and don't have no intention on getting a job, but they just have multiple children year after year, so that way they can continue to get government funding. See, we've allowed them. We've gotten to the point where we become so comfortable and okay with the government taking care of us that the rights that we have, the God-given and constitutional rights that we've had, we ignore them because we still want those benefits coming from the government.
Right.
Right.
People aren't even willing to fight for their freedom right now.
Yeah, like to some people, the government benefits mean more to them and their livelihoods than their own personal freedom and getting out there and actually working for it. So that's why a lot of people out there do believe that yes, the government can take care of me. So if I got to give up my freedoms in order to do that, I'm with it. If I ain't got to do anything strenuous, or if I ain't got to work a hard day in my life and I can just have kids or whatever, be taken care of, then fine. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's where you guys change that mindset of people and understanding that there's things out there, there's other resources out there that are available to you. It doesn't have to necessarily come from the government all the time. That's what people got to get around.
Right.
Absolutely. And I definitely think community is a key part of helping with that too, you know, because like you were saying, you got to get out there. On the individual, it's their part to be proactive. But as, you know, those of us who know, we're going to do our part. That's why we here, you know what I mean, reaching out. Excuse me, a little congested. But we, you know, we try and build. That's the goal here, you know, that we not going for these prescribed, quote unquote, welfare. And this actually, the shot is a welfare program thing too.
It is
paid for by the bills that they just passed in the last 2-3 years. The most recent one, plus the one that Trump dropped or dropped under Trump. I mean, the reality of it is that the more we continue to encourage each other to become more knowledgeable about a variety of topics or subjects, the more we'll find the power to be able to move past these things. That's not for me, not for we, ain't for us.
And, you know, I was looking at a comment that Avishina had put up there. It said socialism is a precursor to communism, which is the truth. See, a lot of people over here in this country, they think socialism means like social programs, like she just commented as well. They don't understand exactly what the term socialism means, and they don't know the history of the word socialism and countries that adopted a socialism program that eventually turned to communism. And here it is, they looking like Venezuela now. You know, so like that's why I don't understand when I have conversations with people that are in the Green Party, or when I have people that, you know, talk to me about Bernie Sanders and AOC and all that shit like that. I'm like, do you really understand exactly what it is that they're pushing?
No, most of us don't. I was a big AOC and Bernie Sanders advocate for a minute. Well, she probably really is in a lot of different ways, but just some of the things I caught in terms of talking points that I was in agreement with until I started doing more research, like you said, about the socialism agenda, and understanding again that, you know, a lot of things, and it's not just females, Crystal, you're right, but just, you know.
not just females, Crystal. We're not just talking about females, but I'm just saying like the most prominent ones as in the forefront right now.
And in terms of as we looking at the idea of how welfare, you know, programming like kind of puts us in this situation, which is kind of what the Republicans always kind of be, you know, talking about on their platform, right? But I don't want to exonerate them because they're part of the problem too. What it really boiled down to is that, like you said, it is our country. We the people take on all the debt. We take on all the responsibility to uphold it. But then we've been trusting the system to function in a certain way that it used to, that it no longer does. That's really that was the switch, you know, the bait and switch. So it's like, you know, again, that's why I said the only thing, you know, you think about it, when you have a shortage in your life, you know, you need to make up whatever it's for a meal or for a bill or something, you're going to go, you know, be resourceful. And that's what we had to do. We got to come together and be resourceful, because it's our kids, it's our relatives that's going to suffer the most. I mean, us, you know, we're going to deal with it as well, but our loved ones, you know what I'm saying? And the socialism programs only get more stringent and more, you know, they give you less and require more. You know, people don't understand it. That's what that communism, that concern about communism is.
When it comes down to it, okay, like, yeah, they presented that communism is the boogeyman when it comes to destroying countries and whatever the case may be. But a lot of people are, you know, when it comes to socialism, they are, you know, tricked into the mindset of thinking that equal distribution of wealth is the right thing. Whereas capitalism gives you the opportunity to go out there to make as much wealth as you want. See, socialism, it puts you in a place where you can't progress financially because of everything that you're being given is coming from the government. So you can't work to try to build your financial level past a certain point, because if you do, they're going to cut off they're going to cut off whatever assistance that they providing for you in order to be able to live your life. You know
And
what
they're
I'm saying?
hoping
It's
to
even
provide you with everything because
Exactly.
you'll
Say,
own
yeah.
nothing and
Progress,
you'll
like,
love it.
I'm gonna say even if that's even legal to have the things you're trying to have independently, because that's
Yeah,
what comes with it too. Like Mel just said, the
exactly.
government ownership of all
They've
privately
already
owned
said
things.
it. You will
And that
own nothing and you will be happy. You
I
will
was
love
just about
it.
to say that because my partner Tansy, she always says that too about that you will own nothing and be happy.
If you
Get
Why
the
will
the
like
fuck
fuck
it,
out of
would you be
here.
happy not owning anything? That means you don't own your rights. So why would you not be happy? Why would you be happy
but
not owning your rights? You telling these
just
people
not
they
knowing.
got every right over you
It's
and every
really
decision you
I
do
don't know, but
goes.
people are getting their rights taken away right now and they're willingly giving them up. And as a matter of fact, they would love for you to give up yours as well. So
Nah,
that's
not
what
for
I'm
me.
saying. Exactly. It's shit's but not for me. It's not going to happen. We
I'm not giving
lions.
up
But
my
that's
right.
not the point. The point is that that's how sick this is making people. Like,
Yeah,
people are really like, people are so distracted by so many things. They don't even know which way is up and which way is down. They have no fucking
exactly.
clue. Like, the really, like, honestly, I keep saying this shit and I'm going to say it for until people do it. The best thing that you can do for yourself is to fucking unplug.
Exactly.
Shut your motherfucking TV off.
I
Shut the
agree.
zombie box off. Cut the cord off. Shut that motherfucker off. At least
Listen,
do it for a week. Watch the whole entire world in front of you just fucking change. Like, you
yeah.
would be surprised how differently you see the world and hear the words coming from people's mouths if you just shut that fucking zombie box
And,
off.
and just like my man Gus just said, man, stop watching the fucking news.
Yeah, the
At the end of the day,
news,
stop
man. The
watching the
fucking
fucking
news is the
news.
worst shit.
And
All
if
they
you go
talk about is negative ass shit, anyways.
and if you're gonna watch the news, watch alternative sources. Don't keep
Yeah,
watching
please.
mainstream platforms
Same
like
shit.
CNN, Fox News,
Fucking CBS,
MSNBC.
NBC.
Yeah, don't watch them shit.
MSNBC, Microsoft NBC. It's literally
Exactly.
owned by fucking Microsoft.
Bill
And you know
Gates.
who's behind that? Yeah, the gates of hell. Fuck him.
Uh-huh.
Gates
Yeah,
of
and that's what I
fucking
meant when
hell.
I was saying about the script. Like, if your media is coming from a mainstream source, the mainstream outlets are
Excuse me.
owned by corporate companies, and so those corporate organizations have boards of directors. They have financial investors who they have an agenda
Right.
behind
Yeah.
whatever that segment is that's being spoken
And
about.
everything is sponsored by
And
fucking
everything's
Pfizer.
sponsored,
Um,
especially nadays.
I keep
You know,
I've
Everything is
actually told
sponsored by
people.
Pfizer. So what do you think? Who do you think they're gonna fucking whose side they're on? Who do you
right.
think they're gonna who's in their
The
best
people that's
interest?
paying them. The people
Come
that's
Right.
on,
paying them.
man.
That's the
I know
Stop
the
it.
Washington Post is,
Pay attention. Watch the money.
Bezos bought that a
Watch
couple
the
years
money.
ago.
You
Jeff
will figure
Bezos,
out
he
the
bought the
fucking
Washington
long-term.
Post. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you never hear nothing negative coming out the Washington Post about Jeff Bezos. These are extensions of extremely
because
wealthy
they got all the money.
individuals and
Yeah.
companies.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
you're not going to get somebody up there who has strong opinions about the way the incident is impacting the human, people. It's
Yeah.
just about doing a job, getting paid,
Right.
reading the script.
Yeah,
So
that's a
that's why
fact.
we saying unplug
Yeah.
from these mainstream sources, and anything that's said, whether it's a mainstream or alternate, it can be checked. You can
That's a
compare it,
fact.
look something up online, look up a couple
Use
articles,
duckduckgo.com.
Yeah,
DuckDuckGo,
that's
BitChute,
a fact.
anything y'all can throw out there. It's like,
Now, to bring up a point that Avrashina just made is when she says all of the legacy media is owned by Gates of Hell. Is anybody out there aware of the fact that Bill Gates spent over 250 million on media campaigns?
Mm-hmm.
I had
I
an
tell people all
idea.
I
I had an
tell
idea.
people
I
all
didn't
the
know what the budget was, but I had
yeah, like he spent over 250 million. Even here in New York City, they just spent over. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, please forgive me if I'm wrong. I think they spent over 125 million
okay.
on propaganda commercials within the last couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking advertising this shot. Like the other day, I'm on my way home from work. I'm not work, but I'm on my way home from running some errands and everything. And I see the New York City Health Commissioner on the news, and he's talking about the Omicron variant or whatever the case may be. Then right after that,
Omnicon.
yeah, exactly. Then right after that, they play another fucking commercial encouraging people to go get their 2-year-olds vaccinated.
Right after they say who is most affected by it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you don't see the red flags in the way all of this is coming together, then you are just a stupid motherfucker. I'm sorry. When it comes down to
They're
it, 'cause if you don't see all this
they're
stuff,
fast asleep and brainwashed. They are programmed. They're literally under hypnosis.
that's
Oh,
true.
yeah,
And they're
that's
being held under hypnosis by the frequencies that are being put through them by that
Yeah.
fucking TV. Shut it off.
Yeah.
Unplug it. Take it.
Hey,
Unplug it.
Well,
You don't
yeah.
even want the electricity running through it. Unplug it.
Well, let me apologize to the people out there. I don't want to call y'all
Sorry.
stupid, but at the end of the day, I still mean it. If you still believe with everything that's
He said, "I
being
still
done is
mean
right,
it."
no, I ain't-
I'm sorry, but
Like,
it's facts, okay? I'm
yeah,
sorry
like,
you're stupid.
at the end of the day, at the end of the day, like if you still are okay with what's going on, you really need to go look yourself in the mirror and
Yeah.
question yourself. Is this okay? Is it okay that your kids are spending the earlier part of their lives stuck wearing a fucking mask, can't interact
Oh my God,
with people the way
suffocating,
it's
breathing
supposed
in carbon monoxide
Right.
on
Are
a
you
fucking
okay
like
if you're okay with seeing people being removed from their houses and placed
Carbon
in
dioxide.
fucking camps, if you're okay with seeing people lose their jobs
Right.
and all this other bullshit and businesses getting put out of business because of this shit, if you're
Right.
okay with that, you need to go look yourself in the fucking mirror and
if
really
you're okay
question your
with people
beliefs.
literally trying to be
Real
withheld
talk.
from getting groceries and shit like that for their families or feeding their families,
Mhm.
all these things are just like, yeah, there's something wrong. Something
Yeah.
that should really open your mind up, your eyes up to all these things. I don't care what you want to do with yourself. You have to see that anytime that something is being forced for our own safety, you need to ask a whole lot of fucking questions. You
But
cannot, I don't care. Here's the thing. If I want to choose to fucking die from this shit, that's my choice.
That's my choice, right?
That's my fucking choice.
And that's one thing I'll never tell anybody or knock anybody for their decision. Your choice is your choice. I can't tell
Yeah.
you what to do with your body,
But
but don't
stop
knock
trying to
me
take
for-
mine,
Yeah,
goddammit.
exactly. You know what I mean? And then when you think about that, you know, because people are being forced, whether you want to admit it or not. Yes, people are
Yes.
being forced into this shit. They're being coerced by their jobs and their livelihood into taking this shit.
Imagine you got 5 kids and you're the breadwinner of your home and your husband or your wife is even a stay-at-home partner. Like, now what?
Exactly.
Now what?
Exactly.
Who feeds them 5 kids and your partner? Who takes care of the light bill? Who's all these things? Come on, man. Then we're doing exactly what you were just talking about, Emilio. Now we're relying on government funding and government programming, and we're doing exactly what the fuck they want us to do,
And
right
that's what
under
they
their
want.
thumb, where they can control us and shut shit off on you
And that's
anytime
what they
that you're not doing what they want you to do. What happens though when they need 7 fucking boosters? You gonna get your kids 7 boosters so they can have school lunch? Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. And what they're
Ask-
feeding them is trash anyways. Let's not even get into that.
Ask those people that question about what are you going to do when they tell you that you're considered under vaccinated or not vaccinated because you didn't take the boosters. When they
Right,
start
because right
mandating
now in
vaccine-
New York City, they changed what fully vaccinated is. Fully
Yeah.
vaccinated now includes
Yeah, they just
boosters.
Yeah, they just
It's
changed
not
the
just
definition of
it's
fully
just not the
vaccinated.
bang boogie. You got to have all the boosters that they've offered
You
as
gotta get the
well.
bang boogies.
You got to get all boogied up. You got to
Gus
be
just brought
boogied.
up. I just see where
Straight
Gus just
boogie.
commented and he said they got us with blue energy, and I kind of agree
Mm.
with that because when you think about the theories and a lot of the the allegations concerning 5G when it comes up, it makes you think about that. I heard about a situation where somebody was asleep. They went to sleep and they turned their TV off. They woke up in the middle of the night. The TV was on. It was emanating some kind of weird coming from out of the TV and then causing them to get sick a couple of days later. So I believe shit like that.
Mhm.
I believe
Turn your
shit
fucking
like that.
TV off. And please don't
Yeah.
sleep with that motherfucker on. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Do you have any idea what your subconscious mind is absorbing while you're sleeping?
That's true. But when I go to sleep and I turn on the TV, I turn to something like a meditation
Yeah, that's different.
channel.
But I'm talking about
'Cause,
just
like,
like watching the
right.
news or some fucking
no,
stupid ass
no.
sitcom.
I'll turn
falling
it to
asleep to
something like
whatever bullshit.
I'll turn it to something meditational so that way like when I'm sleeping it helps me relax and it helps. And when I wake up,
You
I
got some
wake up with a
frequencies
different
going
energy.
and shit.
Yeah.
But I sleep to those too. I sleep to the frequencies.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is, Like Gus said, not as bad as the white noise back in the day. People don't even know what you're talking about right there. If you a
I have
certain
an
age, you
idea,
don't
man.
even
I
know
don't
what
know.
the heck he's talking about. People
I have
are
an
so
idea,
accustomed
Rick. Yeah.
always having like stuff on. It was a point in time where there was not 24/7 broadcast programming or 24/7
Right.
streaming
Yo,
and
Mhm.
that happened in the last 40 years, y'all. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy even in of itself. So
Right.
For those of y'all who ain't this old, y'all
Yeah.
y'all really should
Yo,
kind of give consideration to what these old timers is trying to tell y'all.
that was a nostalgic moment right there when he said it not as bad as the white noise back in the day. I remember what made me stop actually turning to them channels where white noise would pop up. I
Mhm.
fell asleep one night and I woke up. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I happened to wake up and it was on the white noise with the the distorted screen and
Oh yeah.
everything. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and I woke up. I swear to you, yo, like I don't know if I was
You
just
about to tell me
still in
something
the.
creepy, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Like, like I don't know if like I was still in the dream state or whatever. But when I woke up, like the patterns with the fuzz on the TV was just like it was starting to manifest into a being. When I saw that, and when I saw that shit, I stopped watching that kind of shit ever. I'm like, yo, I would never
I'll
watch
feel
no
you.
shit like that again. Yeah, like,
Listen, I'm gonna tell you why I
Step into
didn't
the
watch it.
light. Step
I'm
into
gonna
the
tell you why I
light.
never
Yeah.
watched the Fuzz. I don't know how many of y'all seen the original Poltergeist. With
That's what I was just
Craig
saying.
Nelson.
Step into the
Man,
light,
listen.
Carolyn.
yeah.
So here's the thing about that movie, right? This is how much I ain't bang with that movie. I seen the whole like beginning like set of scenes up to the point where the TV turned gray. And then all I remember was I must have turned away and looked back at something, and it was like a clown poking his head out from under the bed or something. And all I remember thinking was like, listen, this is going off, and like every time after that, I'm not watching. I don't need to see no gray screen and look back and his
Yo,
clown feet hanging under my bed. I'm cool. I never.
yo,
But that was a different era. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah.
guess we was probably even a little bit spooked a little easier too because all of these
Yeah, we
concepts was
weren't as
kind of
desensitized.
foreign. You know what I'm
Nah, but
saying? Like it was
nah,
like
People are
go ahead.
desensitized now.
no, my fault. I'm sorry.
Right,
Only thing I was gonna say that's what they call predictive programming.
Yeah,
right,
predictive programming is fuck. They do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
right. So you know,
They
it
predictive
definitely
programmed us for this. Oh my god, do you guys remember in like 2017? I have Snapchat videos of myself, and when you smile or talk, a mask pops up over your mouth.
word.
2016,
Wow.
2017, 2018, they were doing that. Do you guys remember
Wow.
that?
See, I never really got down with a lot of
Yep.
the social media stuff.
You
and
smile or talk,
Still
a
ain't all the
mask
way
goes over
plugged
your
in.
face.
I jump in and
Predictive
out like
programming
Neo.
is
You
fuck.
know what
Because
I'm saying?
why? What was the point of that? What was the point of having a mask
Right, like
come
you
over
said,
somebody's
predictive
face?
programming.
Facial
Exactly.
recognition.
That
That's
too,
why.
Well,
yeah.
that too. That's why they use
Facial
those filters and
recognition.
shit like that.
Let me
But
tell you something. Like
but the mask thing, no.
I had a coworker that I used to work with, and he used to work within the tech cyberspace field. He was a hacker at one point. He actually did like 5 years of time behind cyber crimes. So he was something. It's crazy because it tripped me out because I seen like the whole phenomena of everybody wanting to use masks and all these facial features that was being made available on these social media apps. So he broke it down to me. He was like, "Yo, that's nothing but facial
Genius.
recognition software that they have embedded into the programs of these apps, because the only thing it's doing is collecting your face, the whole like you see like the little lines and stuff.
Oh yeah, all the points. Yeah.
They getting everything with your face. Even
Yeah.
now with the like, this is something Divine Thought also said too. Like even now, also with the face mask, a lot of this facial recognition thing, because you got a lot of these dumbasses out here on Facebook with these mask overlays and everything like that. They got a lot of this stuff out there. And the only thing it's doing is capturing the recognition of your face, the points and everything like that, even with a mask on. So if you go out there,
So it can figure it out. Yeah.
It can still figure you out.
Wow.
Right.
Full body recognition. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
6 feet apart.
That's why now when you go to places like Walmart, places like this, and you see those videos at the self checkout places where they got your face on camera, it's not because they want to make sure you're not stealing or whatever the case may be. They get your face and they building it into their database. So if you get knocked for shoplifting or whatever, they got your face on profile. So that way, if you walk back in, the facial recognition software is going to pick you up, and they can want to know who you are, so they can identify you, even if you have a mask on and everything. So all this is by design.
Yeah.
A lot of people just pay attention to it,
but they don't.
Yeah. And then also, Arashina said, the 6 feet is so they can differentiate who is who, which is actually true, because I actually heard that again from a lot of people. Divine Thought, Arashina, and a lot of other people that said the same thing. And people that are in the military said that this whole 6 feet apart thing with the facial recognition is so that they can recognize you. Like if you look at what they're doing, like if you look at what they're doing in China, they got everything on digital grid. So
Right.
therefore, they don't even lock you up no more. You just on this whole social thing where if you
Right.
I was just gonna
crime-
say, you notice they haven't had any variants or anything's going on
Yeah.
over there because they have the social credit score.
Yeah, the social credit score. So if you do something like if you don't pay your bill on time, whatever, this all goes against your social credit score, and that prevents you from being able to do certain things like being able to travel internationally, being able to
Yep.
travel domestically, to be able to get loans.
Pretty
from
soon
the
they'll
bank,
shut your
whatever.
money off for it.
Exactly.
And things like that. You won't be able to buy
Exactly.
food or anything. You won't be able to pay rent. You won't be able to do anything if your social credit score isn't kept at a certain standard.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. That's
So,
the thing. So just
So
you
when
know,
you guys ready to stand up for that House of Cards to drop again? Because
hey,
if
listen,
not,
I
this is
feel
what
like-
you have to look forward to. And look at what's going on in Australia and shit like that. In Austria,
Yeah.
do you like literally think it's okay for people to be kept in fenced in FEMA camps? Those are FEMA
read-
camps.
I read
Those are
comments.
straight up those are straight up camps.
well, this just to
Concentration camps. In this, we are literally going. This is like Corona cost.
Corona calls.
Pretty
huh,
much.
boss?
Swear to
I
God,
like
it
that,
really
Corona
is
cost.
Corona cost and a
I like that.
motherfucker because
Yo, Melody,
legit. What
trademark
is
that.
it? Trademark. It's copyrighted and trademark.
Yeah, do that.
Yo,
My
but I
kids
mean,
will come
that's-
after you. I
That
promise
just
you
made
they
me
will.
think about what you said though. Like, so is that what's next? Because I mean, they're already telling us we can't eat certain establishments. You can't go.
Yes.
Games
What do you
and stuff.
think?
But the move though, you can't even get the credit or like you said the welfare benefits soon
Yeah,
if you
it's
don't get
next.
the shot.
Yeah, this is
Yes,
next.
of course.
Let me
So
tell
you mean to tell me I ain't gonna be able to feed my family if I don't get the shot?
You better learn how to
That's
live
what-
up.
I mean, at least that's
Yeah.
what they're saying.
That's
I
what they're trying to
mean,
push, but at the end of the day, there's people
that's what they're
pushing
trying
back.
to push.
Yeah.
They be trying
I mean,
to
I
push
know it
that
ain't been
shit.
said yet,
We
but
have
I
to
mean,
allow what we allow now.
That-
If we
that
continue
definitely
to
seems
allow
like what's
this,
next though, because what else is there to really take? If you done already took my employment, and I say, all right, well, I don't got to work for somebody
Right.
who's going to. Well, what's
yeah,
next?
live
The
off
only
the
thing
land.
left
Exactly. That's why we need communities. That's why we have to build communities amongst
Exactly.
ourselves because we have to literally. It's gonna. If we continue
come
on the
down
path
to it.
we're on, we are going to see a point, and we in our lives, we're gonna see a point where we are living in a community and they are living in another community. And to be honest with you,
Exactly.
do we really want to be with them?
No, fuck them. Let them have their
At
Here's-
some
community.
point, do we
here's
really
what-
want to be around
here's-
people we don't know
watch
what they're
Yeah.
emanating off their
Watch
bodies
this,
and
but
shit?
here's what history has shown. Here's what history has shown, and I'm saying this as a veteran.
Mhm.
They ain't gonna let two communities exist.
They're not. Look
There
what
was a
They're
happened
gonna
civil
have
with,
to
war.
take
There
us
was
the
a civil
fuck out,
war.
aren't they?
There was a civil war in this country over two communities. That
Well,
were-
I
Yeah.
guess there's gonna
And
be
also-
another one then.
Also, look what happened with Juneteenth when they got rid of Black Wall Street because people was trying to live and have a different
Exactly.
community.
Yeah,
other
no,
than
people
the
were
establishment.
living.
Yeah,
People were living
living.
fabulously.
They
Yeah,
got rid of
exactly.
every professional
Successfully.
organization that was black
Exactly.
owned and exclusively black.
They always
That's
get
what
rid of
ain't
anything
no-
successful black
It ain't
owned.
And
gonna be
also-
no second community. Either
Exactly.
you're
They
gonna
don't like melanated
form
people.
or you're not going to exist the way they operate.
And also,
So we
people
can
can't
exist in the land that they can't.
And also, they can't not only just to talk about Black Wall Street, also Seneca Village here in New York City. A lot of people don't realize that
Right.
Seneca Village was a prospering Black community in Central Park, where Central
Right,
Park
and-
is now.
Right.
You know, so a lot of these communities were destroyed, yes, but at the end of the day, it gets back to it once again. People have got to draw
Right.
the line.
We
Right.
have
At the end
to
of the day,
draw
that's
the
what it comes
line.
down to. It. Where's the line for you? Okay, you see everything what's going on right now.
Right.
People are losing their jobs. They're telling you you can't come into your favorite establishments unless you have this shot. They're starting to
Right.
mandate your kids to take this shit. So where's the line for you? That's the question when it comes to you as an individual. Where is the line for you? Where is enough for you?
I
as an
agree
individual?
with you. And I just wanted to say what Avishena was saying. Yeah, I wasn't saying that's why the Civil War happened. I was just using it as a point of reference that two societies won't exist on this continent because of the one dominant society that has dominated for the last probably 400 years or so. They
Yeah, they don't want competition.
refuse to allow it to coexist.
Yeah,
Only
this-
thing that can exist is a subservient class that is within their system. That's why we all hooked on money.
As long as we allow that. But here's what
Right.
what we need to realize is that first of all, we are indigenous to this land. This is our land,
True.
okay? We can survive here on this earth, okay? The sun
True.
doesn't kill us, okay? But
True.
it does them. And there's a whole lot of shit that they can't live in that we can live in. This is our land and there's way more of us than there is of them. So
That's a
there
fact.
has to be a point where we decide that we're going to stop letting all these things that they keep throwing in front of us as divisive materials. We're going to stop allowing those things to control us and control our vision and how we're seeing the world around us. And we're going to band together and unite and realize that we are
Look,
the only thing that can save us at this
but
point. We
but,
are the only
but,
thing
go,
that can save us.
but
They can
going back,
never save us, and they never will.
that's a fact. But going back also to an earlier point that we made, and during the show and everything like that, it also comes down to mindset. Like you have to have that mindset that you are not going to allow this.
You
See,
have to.
if you keep allowing
You
them
have
to
to realize
control
what's
you
happening.
with the flow of information and also through these peer propagandas, then yes, you're going to allow them to take these certain things. That's why you got to get your mindset right, and that's why I've been working on things like that. And this is why I love this fucking book right here, because let me tell you, this book right
What
here.
is it?
It's called
Breaking the
Breaking the.
habit of being yourself.
Pull
Yeah,
back a little bit. There you go. Yeah.
you got it. Yeah, cool. This is
Yup.
why I like this book, because like I'm gonna tell you, I just started this book yesterday, and I'm only at the first part of this
Right,
book, and I've learned
exactly
so much
this.
already as far as your mindset is concerned, and that's what it comes down to: is people got to change their mindsets and stop allowing the government to feel like they can continue to control you. Because if they can
Right.
control the information, then they got you. Because at the end of the
They
day,
got you.
they only what they
They're
want you to know, because
programmed
they know
you.
exactly. That's why when it comes down to these contracts where you have like 50 million pages and everything on the middle is in there that you're supposed to know about this contract, but you won't read it. And that's why they
No,
hide
and
so many
it's
different
so,
things,
and
because
it's
they
the
know
way
you're
that
not
it's
going to read
worded is going to confuse the fuck out of you, anyways.
Right.
Mhm.
Because it's written in English, but it's actually legalese,
It's
which is
legalese, right? Yeah,
Exactly.
different
exactly.
language. It,
Evershina said, pay attention to the movies they put out before us. That is so crucial, you guys. They are always telling you something without telling you something. Pay
Exactly.
attention. And another thing about that is when you're watching these TV shows and these movies, like you are literally, your brain is put in a state of trance. And when you are put in that state of trance, your subconscious mind is allowed to absorb and pick up everything, things that you don't see. They have people who put in subliminal messages into the vibration of the music, into the words, into the way the words are put together, even.
Mhm.
There is
Quick
so
question.
much that goes into this. It is all by design, and it's not an accident. So you really have to pay attention to what you allow your mind to absorb.
Arashina, I'm sorry if I'm slaughtering your name, and I'm a little congested too. You said think of the movies, Transformers, that whole concept. Anything you could add, please throw it in the comments, because the first thing that jumped in my mind was like, I know one of them was the Dark Moon or something like that. I don't know even why
Yeah,
that jumped
Dark of the
into my
Moon.
mind,
Yeah.
but just if you could throw in a little bit more to enlighten us. And I know we probably got a couple more minutes left on here, so not
We've been
to
on here for
rush.
2 hours, y'all. We went
We-
over overtime.
We had to make sure we made time for the good brother being in the building, though.
I appreciate that, man. I think what she's saying about that, like, I'm gonna give you an example. I'm not gonna use the Transformer example, but I'm gonna use the Captain America example.
Okay.
Look at the end of the movie, at the part when he runs out of the laboratory and he runs up to Times Square, and he started looking around at all the different billboards. You see the mask, you see Corona Bear, you also see a virus, a strain of a virus. That's what she's talking about when it comes to Transformers.
Okay.
Yeah, they be doing shit like that all the time.
Mhm.
She said they destroyed their own planet and came here. Girl, there's probably some truth to that shit on everything I love. That's why they can't survive in this motherfucker.
I guess I'm gonna have to go get my hunting knife and go tail checking. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause it
On
might be
everything
some
I
lizard faces
love.
out here. Some lizard faces. I don't know though. I mean, I know this. In my time in life, the one thing that was most valuable for me is realizing I don't know everything and being open. So I am more open than I might appear in this particular situation. But that is really what we saying. We saying close yourself down to these messages that's really lowering your vibration and trying to keep you incarcerated, both in your perception of yourself and your reality. That you don't have to live that way. We are on that not for me mission. Like, you not gonna box me in. This world belongs to all of us equally. We all got a right to survive and to thrive, as others like to say. So let's get it. I'm with it.
Man.
Facts. All that is supreme facts, y'all. Absolutely. shut the TV off, unplug, stop letting those frequencies run through your body and control your thoughts, because they will definitely do that. And that's exactly what happens is it controls your thoughts, teaches you how to think, how to feel, how to act, what to believe. It's teaching you, whether you believe it or not, the divisive behavior of thinking that anyone who doesn't have symptoms is asymptomatic but spreading a virus, or thinking that anyone who isn't in a mask doesn't care about anyone else and they're spreading a virus, or thinking that anyone who doesn't get this bang boogie doesn't care about anyone and they're spreading a virus. Sweetheart, none of that is happening.
Let me ask you, for anybody out there that's watching right now, if you've had bronchitis, if you've had pneumonia, if you've had any kind of respiratory virus, even a respiratory infection, when the fuck have you ever had a respiratory illness of any magnitude and not have symptoms? So how the fuck is that asymptomatic theory even possible?
And the asymptomatic theory has been proven to be bullshit anyways, because even anyone who's asymptomatic has never, even that rat-faced man said it out his own mouth, that anyone who's been asymptomatic has never created a pandemic. It's never been a pandemic of asymptomatic people. So,
and there's never been a pandemic created by
we're not even in a pandemic right now, you guys.
Exactly.
I hate to tell you that. We're not. They had to change the definition of pandemic in order to actually call this a pandemic.
And there's never been a pandemic caused by a motherfucker biting the head off of a bat.
Oh man, that's a whole nother biology episode, because I was looking up some stuff that says that we can't even really cross transmit so many really viruses. So like how monkey AIDS, come on man, picking the animal today, man.
Oh, but you know what? They're definitely putting that AIDS virus in these bang boogies. So
yeah, what year is this? This is the year of the rat. So that's gonna be the next one, right? They gonna have the rat pox. I mean, come on, man. Oh
yeah, the masks are for compliance. Yeah, that's a virtue signal. They're compliance and increased sickness. Right. And so much worse than that. To be honest with you, even on a long-term level, let's just talk about that for just a second. On a long-term level, someone who's breathing in carbon dioxide for hours a day, for every day out of the week, that stuff does not right now. The right now effects are things like irritation, agitation, hard loss of focus, headaches, things like that. You may or may not have noticed those things with yourself, but long-term effects, let me just for 1 second let you know that your blood transports oxygen to every single fucking cell and capillary and every little teeny tiny little nano inch of your body takes oxygen from your blood, okay? So if your blood is now pumping carbon dioxide through every vital freaking piece of your body, which every piece of your body is vital, imagine what you're doing. That is a poison. You are now, instead of pumping oxygen, which is something that keeps our body working properly, you are now pumping poison in place of that. I don't know. You figure it out.
No,
you figure out what that does to you over time.
Like I'm gonna tell you this.
Out that it's not for me.
But not for me. And here's what's really sad is we have almost an entire generation of children who, when they leave their school after having that thing on their face for 8 hours a day, they don't even take it off. They don't even take it off. It's so fucking normalized to them. They're cool with it.
It becomes second
nature. And as a matter of fact,
Yeah.
they're everywhere. They're everywhere with it on, thinking nothing of it.
See,
it's sad. It's sick. And you know what's going to happen is we're going to have a very, very sick, a bunch of that generation is going to be sick as fuck, bro.
Now, let me tell you something. And this is speaking off of personal experience. And I know in you, Melody, we just spoke, 2 days ago, and we was talking about this. But as you know, the two of y'all both know that I was working in a setting where I was a first responder, and I was also having to wear a mask. So, and then also during the height of the pandemic, I was working like 104 hours a fucking week. So imagine from the day I'm supposed to start working from 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm there from 7 o'clock in the morning to my first day back to work after my days off. And I'm there all the way around the clock until I'm getting ready to go back to my days off. So I'm wearing this mask. I have been because y'all know my situation, I have not had to wear the mask in a while. So I noticed a big difference in not wearing the mask and wearing that mask. So at the end of the day, these respiratory issues that are coming from this whole situation is because you're wearing this mask. As you say, you can't keep wearing. I mean, you can't keep breathing in your own exhaust for an amount of time and not get sick off of it.
No.
Why you think surgeons don't live that long? Why you think people that wear their profession and wearing a mask for 10 hours a day, why you think they don't have a real long life expectancy?
Why do you think that any profession that they wear a mask for an extended period of time, OSHA comes in and stress tests them and fits them for the proper mask for what they're doing? Why do you think that there's standards and regulations for masks? We have people out here in a t-shirt thinking that this thin t-shirt is going to protect them from a microscopic virus?
It's not.
That they said it was ping ponging it was like 15 to 30 feet in the room. That
Man,
it was highly contagious. It lasted for like 2 days and 20 minutes, and it could survive on metal, cardboard,
for
and it
9
had gold
days
fronts.
on metal. 9 days on metal. Remember?
At the beginning of this whole entire pandemic, as a first responder, we dealt with a person that came in collapsed on the floor during the beginning of this pandemic. Okay. And this person eventually died right there in our lobby after they collapsed. They died right there in the lobby, and this person had COVID. I had coworkers that went around this person and did not get sick. So what is that telling you?
Right.
So if it's this whole thing about it living on surfaces and this asymptomatic shit is so real, then why none of my fucking coworkers got sick and they dealt with them people hands on?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I know last year they had people coming. And actually, I'm gonna make this last point. I gotta go because I gotta use the latrine or the head if you from the military. You know what I'm saying? But no, they was recruiting volunteers from different cities to come to places like New York City to help with all that was going on. And you didn't even have to have vaccine to do that. You didn't even have to have training to do that. They was recruiting people to just come. Well, that's what I'm saying. So
they about to start doing that with these V's too, giving any old Joe Schmo can inject it into somebody.
They're still doing that. Like I had a coworker that just left the job because they got a better opportunity in doing this shit. The visiting nurse program, after they fired all of these first responders and medical workers, they got rid of all these people for not wanting to take the shot, and they brought in these visiting nurses or traveling nurses, as they call them here in New York City. And they don't have to be vaccinated. They don't have to abide by any mandate. Like I was saying to you earlier about Kyrie Irving. Yeah, about Kyrie Irving. Yeah, like he's
oh my God,
this Brooklyn Nets.
Absolutely staged for gun control. Absolutely. They've been doing that shit for years. All these school shootings, all that shit staged for gun control, all that shit.
We've had conversations on that before, Melody. You and I, you know.
Yeah.
But like I was saying,
I'm
like
sorry.
These people.
No, I was gonna say what you were saying though. My bad. I'm with y'all.
No, you good, bro. But I was saying like the same thing I was saying earlier about Kyrie Irving. He plays for the Brooklyn Nets, and being at the Brooklyn Nets or a New York City-based team, he cannot play because of the vaccine mandate in effect. But players from other organizations, for example, like Bradley Beal from the Washington Wizards, he is not vaccinated. He can come to New York City and play a game against the Brooklyn Nets or against the New York Knicks and not have to worry about his vaccination status. But Kyrie Irving has to suffer because at the end of the day, he's not vaccinated, even though he is employed by a New York City or New York State-based franchise.
Right.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
They doing the same thing with traveling nurses. These motherfuckers are not from here. Some of these people are coming from international countries, and they don't have to be vaccinated. But they firing people for not wanting to be vaccinated, and they bringing in these people that aren't vaccinated. What's
that's the point I'm getting at, is that this is why it's questionable. How can we trust any of this if the people who are regulating and making these decisions is saying you regular people got to get the bang boogie? But here's the exception: if you're from another place without having the bang boogie, you come over here and give people the bang boogie, and we'll pay you for it.
Like, look what's going on with the fucking southern border. They're allowing these people, these undocumented and illegal immigrants, to come here without having to take the bang boogie, and they coming throughout the whole entire country. But yet, you got people that gave everything, sacrificed time away from their families, their own health. You're firing these people, but you're allowing people to come over here that don't have any kind of affiliation with you whatsoever. It's only because you want their votes. And that's the reason why they let these people into these countries, because they want their votes. They know that the people of color, they know we started to jump off the bandwagon. So now they're bringing in the immigrants because they about to be the new niggas. You know what I mean? So
Oh
at the end of
man,
the day, that's just what it
that's the
is.
next episode. We gotta bring E back. We gotta
Oh,
bring E
bring me
back.
back.
That's
I'm
the
ready.
next episode right there.
Oh
You just
shit,
sparked
y'all!
it right there. E.
We locked and loaded. Now we cocked the hammer back. He's ready to fire.
Yeah, like, this shit is
All
fucking
right, you know
stupid,
what?
like-
That's it. Emilio's coming back. Y'all finna see Emilio. He's gonna be through here quite often because that's my people's man. And if I could have got Emilio, it would have been us three or him and I or whatever all the time. So
Right.
it would have been a not for three.
With it. Hey, listen. Much love, bro. You already know. Want to thank everybody. Varashina. Did I say it right, E?
Avershina.
Averashina. I'm sorry. Averashina, thank you. Crystal, thank you. Gus, thank you. Gregory, thank you. Did I miss
Candace.
everybody?
Thanks,
Thank
Candace.
you.
Thank you guys,
Candace,
everybody. Everyone
Hey,
who
we wanna
came
thank
through today. If we
everybody
missed you
for
guys.
checking in. Please touch back. You know where we be at. Go ahead.
Also,
Appreciate all y'all.
one more thing.
Yeah.
Also, before everybody else, out there,
Gregory,
you know.
appreciate you, Gregory.
If you guys are interested, I know I made mention of this book right here. It's called, Breaking the Habit of. Let me try to see. Hold on.
Breaking the habit of being yourself. There you go, right
Yeah.
there.
It's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. If anybody out there is interested in getting down with this book club that I'm a part of, that you can get good, brain food like this, definitely hit me up. My email is nsr.fanmail@gmail.com. You can get in contact with me if you're interested in learning about how you can become a part of the book club, and I can definitely, point you in the right direction. So if you're interested, please feel free to hit me up.
Nice.
It's all about
That's what's up.
growing. It's all about trying to get people's minds right out here. Like at the end of the
Hell
day,
yeah.
get your mind right. You know what I mean?
Get your mind right.
Real talk.
How you gonna win if you ain't right within?
Hey, Lauren Hill, I hear that.
Real talk. All
Yeah,
right.
you gotta get your mind right. Yo, we thank y'all so much for tuning in on this beautiful Monophony Monday. Yo, it was a long show. It was a double show. Got double stacked. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you come back.
Yeah.
So go ahead and tell them where they can follow you at, Emilio, so in case anyone wants to check you out and any of the stuff you got going on.
No doubt. I appreciate that. You can follow me personally on Twitter at the Emilio Wackbar. For those of you out there that are watching, you see it right there on the screen is at the Emilio Wackbar. You can follow me there, or if you want to get in contact with me, in regards to anything else that I got going on, please feel free to hit me up. Once again, the email is nsr.fanmail@gmail.com. You can also check out my podcast and the radio show because I'm working on things. I'm going to get that back going in 2022. So definitely, check that out. It's available on sound.com/nonstop-radio-show.
Hey, that's what's up, brother. Salute.
Thank you. And definitely shout out to you guys for, inviting me to your platform. This was definitely a great experience to be a part of it, man. I definitely love the conversation we had here tonight, and I'm loving the energy, man. I'm looking to come back real soon.
That's what's up, man. We looking forward to it. Can't wait. And you already know, man, you family for sure. This is home, and we about to really make some things happen. I know people probably looking like, yo,
Love
they
you
got the
too,
green
Kim.
screens up, but we ain't seen no special effects yet. Chill. Wait.
I am the special effect. Fuck you talking about.
Hey, we got some things.
And
in
first
store.
and
We just
foremost, the
slow
green
walk.
screen was for continuity. Okay.
Well, we got
And
some stuff in store. We slow walking them. We ain't gonna show the whole hand right off the back.
Don't worry about what
That's
we
a
doing.
fact. But
Just
also
keep
that
coming
too.
back for more.
Also that too, man, for all of y'all out there that think that, man, like the special effects should be the message that this platform is giving you guys, because these guys are giving you some gems and they really speaking some things that you guys all out there should be watching, listening, and paying attention to. So definitely please do that. And so
That's a good question. The people want to know when you coming back, Emilio.
Oh, I'm working right
You
now.
coming back next Monday?
I never. Yeah, like if you want me to come back to this platform next Monday, I definitely do that.
You already know the door.
Rashina, you heard him. He said he's coming back next Monday. We're gonna hold him to it.
Look, you don't got a key because the door stay unlocked for you, bro. You already know.
Okay.
So you just come
You
through.
got a key to the back door.
The family entrance. You feel me? Just come
Yeah.
through.
I definitely do appreciate this, yo. I really do. Thank you both.
Nah, it's always good to have
Already
you
know.
around, man. Y'all already know it's Manat for Me Monday. Make sure you guys follow us anywhere. It's all Manat for Me. It's literally spelled just like that. You guys can find us anywhere on social media. You can find me anywhere. I am Melody Waters. You know, I'm not hard
Melody
to find. Yo.
motherfucking Waters.
It's Melody motherfucking Waters in the house.
It's sick with it.
Sick with it. All right, y'all. Come back next Monday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have Emilio Egbar in the house again. We're going to talk about some more real ass shit. So if you guys have something that's not for you out there, we want to hear about it. We want to talk about it. Tell us about it. We're going to get it on the show. Love y'all, man. Be dangerous out there. Be safe out there. Whatever you do, just keep surviving. Keep striving. I love y'all. Peace.
Peace.